from the state's ballot.
It's possible that the court could issue a ruling that really only applies to Colorado. But the court had indicated, and both sides want a more definitive resolution to the case. So it's quite likely that whatever the court rules will have an effect, not just in Colorado, but in Maine, Illinois, and in other states where efforts to disqualify Trump are underway.
That's correspondent Mark Sherman. Tomorrow is Super Tuesday as 15 states, including Colorado, hold nominating contests along with American Samoa. Texas Panhandle continues to burn. More evacuations. The largest wildfire in state history is only about 15% contained.
Fire activity did pick up due to the critical fire weather conditions. Most notably, we had quite a bit of activity on the southern flank of the Smokehouse Fire in the Division Delta and Gulf regions. We also had fire activity on the Windy Deuce Fire.
Forest Service Ops Chief Mike Broad, who says crews are battling more than one fire in the Texas Panhandle. Snowbound Northern California, not out of the woods just yet. Forecasters say another 2 feet of snow could fall in some mountainous areas. Sections of Interstate 80 to the west and to the north of Lake Tahoe have been closed. The California Highway Patrol not giving any estimate as to when the highway could be reopened. The snow continues to fall. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures are mixed. Right now, the Dow futures down 167 points. The NASDAQ futures are off a fraction. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you tired of the ups and downs of the stock market? Are you sick of logging into your brokerage account only to find out that you've lost hundreds or thousands of dollars in a single day? At MarketBeat, we know that constantly moving in and out of stocks, hoping to get lucky, is a loser's game. Buying hot stocks after they've already shot up in value is a recipe for disaster. It's time to stop playing the loser's game and invest in stocks that have shown they can stand the test of time. MarketBeat has prepared a free report titled 7 Stocks to Buy and Hold Forever, and we would like to text it to you for free. Text the word profit to 68285. The companies in this report might appear to be nothing special at first glance, but these companies print billions of dollars of cash each year in profit. If you would like to receive our free report of 7 stocks to buy and hold forever, simply text profit to 68285 and we'll text you this report instantly. Text profit to 68285 and we'll send you this free report right now. Text the word profit to 68285.
Standard message and data rates may apply. Please consult with your investment or tax professional.
Bloodshed goes from bad to worse in Haiti.
The Haiti government has declared an emergency and a nighttime curfew in a bid to regain control of the streets after an explosion of violence over the weekend in which armed gang members stormed the country's 2 biggest prisons. The 72-hour state of emergency went into immediate effect on Sunday night as Haiti's leaders say it would set out to find the killers, kidnappers and other violent criminals it says escaped. At least 9 people have been killed since Thursday as gangs step up coordinated attacks in the capital. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Lawmakers in Pakistan's National Assembly have elected Shehbaz Sharif for a comeback term as Prime Minister. It held the office from April 2022 to August of 23. He's also the younger brother of 3-time Premier Nawaz Sharif. News and analysis at townhall.com. A big award in a lawsuit stemming from a terrible accident in New York City.
A Florida woman who was struck and dragged by a New York City bus has been awarded $72 million in her suit against the city's transit agency. A jury found in favor of Aurora Beaucamp, who was hit by an MTA bus and dragged some 20 feet in Manhattan in 2017. She suffered numerous injuries and her left leg remains paralyzed. The MTA, meanwhile, says it will appeal, calling the award excessive. Jason Walker reporting.
Apple says it will appeal a nearly $2 billion fine imposed by the European Union, which concluded that Apple broke competition laws by unfairly favoring its own music streaming service over rivals. The move is the 27-nation bloc's first ever antitrust penalty against the U.S. tech giant. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, Whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody.
Shut up.
Welcome to it.
Yes, welcome back.
It's a Monday.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's March.
That was a smarch weather. I was just pointing out literally right before we got in the air that there was snow on the ground like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
And I'm in shorts this morning.
Yep.
I mean,
welcome to New Mexico.
And
then on Saturday, you get to move your clocks forward.
Yeah.
Which is this weekend. I got the reminder this past weekend saying, oh, yeah, next weekend's our spring forward deal. And I'm like,
it's always so funny to me. Like, it's nobody ever mentions it even slightly until the week before.
Yeah.
And then it's all anybody wants to talk about. It's like, you set your clocks forward this Sunday. I'm like, I know.
Well,
we know.
Well, it's 7:07 on Monday morning, the week of.
That's
I'm
right.
the first to tell you.
There you go. Moving forward. Although, I will say this. This means that we've officially reached the time of the year that the clock in my living room is right again.
Ah, good for you.
I'm not going to take that thing off the wall and move the time back an hour. I'm just going to wait it out.
My clock in my house like that is the one that no one ever sees. It's the water softener clock.
Oh, yeah.
In my garage, that one that sets when to do the thing. That one, I'm not sure which time it's on right now, but it stays there all the time, whatever it is.
I will never understand. Like, we live in such a smart world that your refrigerator can tell you when you need to buy more eggs.
Right.
And yet my car can't adjust the clock automatically. You're telling me my computer on wheels can't sync to a satellite that could automatically switch the time back like, I don't know, my phone does?
Or my $10 clock I bought at Walmart.
Because it's always
such clock.
Exactly. It's always such a hassle because as soon as I move the time, it restarts the minute. So automatically I'm going to be like 2 minutes behind by, the time we switch it back again.
That's why I love those clocks that you can adjust hour and minute.
Well, no, it can do that. It's just when you are adjusting the time, if it's at like 56 seconds, it will automatically go back to 0.
Ah, okay.
So you lose that 56 seconds. So over time, that gets more and more off. Like currently, the clock in my car, and I know this, is 2 minutes fast. So if it says 6:59, it's 7:01. I have to do the math in my head because my car sucks.
This is where I get a little anal.
Oh, do you?
A little bit.
Fancy.
I will take my cell phone when I set a clock.
Oh, do you synchronize the time?
I synchronize.
And go.
That is me. That is me.
Oh, you nerd.
It is so satisfying to nail that. It is such a satisfying thing to nail that.
I'm just like, oh yeah, I guess I should change this, huh?
Yeah.
It's 47 seconds after the fact.
No, and I'm not so bad about it with just general clocks in the house, but like alarm clock and like car clock and like clocks that I rely on regularly to be at places. Those I synchronize.
See, but that's it's like my living room clock. It's literally like for half the year, I only use the minute hand.
Yeah.
For half the year, I pay no attention to that hour hand.
Right.
I just know what hour we're in. I'm going to look at that clock and say, okay, we're in this part of the hour.
Do you use or have you used the logic where you deliberately set your alarm clock like 10 or 15 minutes fast to trick your body into thinking it's later than it actually is? Because that's the thing a lot of people do too.
It doesn't necessarily work for me.
Yeah.
Because
it doesn't for me either, but
just
some people
because
swear by it.
I am I'm hyper aware of what time it is when I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Most of the time because I'll like wake up, see what time it is, and do the math in my head to figure out how much more sleep I can get.
I do that too.
So I do that. So I'm very aware of what time it is. So there's really no way to trick my brain in that respect.
Yeah, but like I had an aunt that always did that, and a couple other friends that always claimed to do that too. So.
You know what really throws me off, and I think this is probably like a circadian rhythm thing, but I get thrown off if I wake up and it's a different color than I'm expecting. Like if I wake up and I can see my bedroom wall, oh, I slept in way too late. Like if the sun's already up, oh, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Even on the weekends?
Yeah, even on the weekends if I have my kids.
Gotcha.
Because, before
responsibility.
Hunter wakes up, that's my me time.
Yeah.
So I want to get a little bit of that in.
And kids like to get up at like 6, 7 in the morning to watch cartoons and eat cereal. So
well, that's not really a thing anymore. But no, my son does that. I think mostly just because he knows it annoys me. He's not one for. Okay, so here's a fun term I learned. If you wake up on like a Saturday morning, you have nothing to do, and you just hang out in your bed, maybe scroll on your phone, maybe just get comfortable, read a book, something like that. There's an actual term for that.
Yeah,
Germans have a term for that. It's called Herkel-Durkeling.
Ah.
Yeah. And I be Herkling and I be Durkeling. So, I like a little time on a morning without my kids to Herkel-Durkel a little bit,
Yeah.
But I just don't get a chance to.
And see, I'm the opposite there. Like once I'm done sleeping, I'm on out of bed. I don't want to just linger in bed anymore.
No?
Unless I'm sick or tired, I don't want to linger in bed.
But if you find that sweet spot, like right when you wake up and you're just like, the blanket, it's like cold right outside the blanket underneath here. This is heaven. I'm gonna hang from it.
When an alarm forces me to get out of this, I'm not happy. But like on a Saturday where I just sleep till I'm tired of sleeping. Yeah, I just wake up and I usually don't get up till about 8:30 on a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
Unless I got to do something or be somewhere.
Right.
But if you leave me to my own devices, I'm sleeping till about 8:30.
Right.
But then I'm up. I'm like, I get up, and usually by that time, my wife's already up because she always gets up at least an hour before I do. So on weekends.
With a hot breakfast waiting for me.
No, not that far.
She's still listening. I gotta be careful.
She's like, you smoking the crack, the devil's lettuce there. Johnny, you're not doing that. That's kind of how I am. I just can't do it. I get antsy, or I start thinking, what's going on? I gotta But anyway.
But I like that too. Like I will spend a little bit of time in the bed first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like I need to get up and go to my other position. Yeah.
Only time that was different was when I was in the Air Force, because I lived in my barracks, my dorm room. So literally my bed was my couch. I had a couch later, but so I did a lot of things in bed just because that was the place to hang out when you're in the dorm room, was on the bed. So, but yeah, as my adult life and I have a house and everything, I haven't done all that.
Yeah. Well, when you're in a dorm, your bed is your couch. It's your love seat. It's your bed. It's your kitchen table at a lot of situations.
I ate many a meal on my bed while watching
16
TV.
candle style, just crisscross applesauce.
That's right. Sitting there with my tuna helper watching Scarface.
On a 13-inch screen. Heck yeah.
It was 20-inch. No, 19-inch. It was
dang.
fancy. 19-inch.
Bougie.
I had a 19-inch.
And it probably weighed 1,500 pounds.
It was the heaviest thing I owned, possibly with the exception of that Gateway computer monitor that I had.
That's what always blew me away about the tube TV. It's like, it's gas. There's gas in there. That's some heavy gas.
That's right. That's right. And of course, my Iowa stereo, that everyone had also in the 90s there at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the one with the 5-disc CD changer.
Nice.
Had the middle part and the speakers you could separate, but you really didn't because it looked stupid if you did.
Right.
So, yeah, that one. Had the light bar thing to make it all fancy.
The LED thing.
Yeah.
See, I used to see that one and want that one, but I never had that one.
Yeah, I had that
I had the Emerson 2 speaker. There was nothing fancy about it. But.
Yeah. No, I bought that at the BX. Like my first year in the military, and thinking that was a major purchase in my life.
That stereo is designed for 20-something dudes.
Yeah.
You just see that thing with its flashy lights, and it's like, ooh, smooth plastic.
That was me. I was the 20-year-old dude that fell for it. It's like you push the button, it's like, oh, you can put 5 discs.
I get it. Still to this day, I'll walk by a display of them, and I'll see like a fancy, player or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, ooh. It triggers the redneck part of my brain.
Right.
I like shiny stuff.
That's how I played all my Columbia House CDs.
That's right.
From that thing there. So, yes. Well, happy Monday. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. We are going to replay some interviews today. On Friday, we had Barbara Gomez and Peggy Seski join us at Main Street Roswell, give us an update on what they're up to. We'll play that for you here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to play our interview we had earlier in the month, February, with John from Oasis Computers, talking on tech with him. Mm-hmm. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we had the ladies from Pinwheel Healing Center join us earlier last month to talk about what they do and their mental health services they provide for everyone in the state. Mm-hmm. So we'll play that interview for you here about 9:15.
Very good.
So, plus, we'll have all of your features that include the newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. So,
yes, indeed.
I told you, but I got my birthday gift early this weekend because my laptop computer, after over 10 plus years of owning it, finally died. And rather than shell out more money to do that, and I've been wanting to get a new one for a while.
What happened? Did it just?
I think the power supply.
It just didn't
died.
power on.
I had it on. And then I went and did something else. I came back, and it was not on no more.
How often do you use your laptop without the cord, without the power cable?
Never.
Really? So you're always plugged in?
Almost always.
And it still gives you fits.
I've had it for 10 years.
It's
an old computer.
It's like
it just died.
I know what laptops are capable of, but I've literally never, in actual person, seen someone use a laptop without the cable. I've never seen one not plugged in.
Come to my house.
I've never seen one mobile. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what a laptop it's for mobility, but I've never seen one not plugged in because the batteries
my desktop.
suck.
I literally keep it on a table by my thing here, and then when I use it, I'm sitting there in front of the thing. So yeah, but it's plugged in. I always keep it plugged in.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Most people do. Like, I've never seen one just free.
On TV.
On TV, exactly.
In coffee shops.
In laptop commercials.
Yes.
When they're trying to tout the battery power.
Or Big Bang Theory.
Okay, there you go.
Every episode, they've got them on their battery laptops. And halftime, they're Alienware ones, and I can tell they're on battery because the alien head is yellow and not blue.
Dang. All right.
Because my old computer was an Alien.
Was Alienware?
And when it's yellow, that means it's not plugged in. When it's blue, it's plugged in.
See, that's another one of those that, like, was really like appealing to the 20-something man of like my generation.
Yeah.
Again, because shiny stuff.
Oh, and that one had it had something to make you could change the colors, and you could even do it where it's like changing while you're playing it, and it starts going from this pink, blue, red hue to green kind of deal.
Right.
And, completely unnecessary.
Oh, 100%. But it's pretty.
But it was cool to brag about. But
that's like most beauty pageants. Completely unnecessary, but it's pretty.
So. But yeah, but oh my gosh, it's awesome! My computer being a new one, and playing it like there was a game I wanted and played it. It just didn't work on my old computer. It was
choppy, slow,
wasn't beefy. And I played it on the new computer last night.
Smooth.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
I was like a kid in a candy store.
Nice.
So we got to wrap this show up so I can get off work and go play on my new computer. So, yeah. All right. It is 8:18 or 7:18. I can't get times right.
It's almost 8:18.
Almost.
Next week.
In Texas, it's 8:18. And next week, Sunday, it'll
just start operating now under the guise that the time has already shifted.
I will do that. I'm going to get you guys ready. It is 8:18. Just kidding.
People are panicking. Oh, my God.
I'm late. 7:18. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape for the next few days. No rain in the forecast for a while, and temperatures stay mild with high pressure over southern Colorado covering our area. Sunny today, a little bit breezy, mid-70s on the high. We're in the mid-30s and clear for the overnight hours, and then lots of sunshine expected on Tuesday, low 70s and sunny, a few more clouds on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. And currently, let me refresh this. This is from an hour ago. Here we go. Currently 54 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 35% with winds out of the west at 15 miles per hour. Sunny skies today. Expect highs in the upper 70s, 77 officially with west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tonight. Expect an overnight low of 41 degrees, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, sunny. Expect a high of 72. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Not too bad there. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 42 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly cloudy, highs of 73 expected with north winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 48 degrees. Thursday, mostly sunny and 71. Friday, looks like a 30% chance of some AM rain showers, but mostly sunny and a high near 60. 30% for Friday night as well. And then cooler for the weekend, mostly sunny, 54 for Saturday, sunny, 69 for Sunday. So it looks like Thursday night and Friday we get some kind of front end, dropping temps a little bit and bringing some slight rain chances too. We'll see if that develops. All right, it is 7:20. We're going to take, we'll get you into your Roswell Livestock Report. We'll take a quick commercial break as well, and then we'll play our interview with Barbara Gomez and Peggy Sesky from Main Street Roswell. Don't go away.
I read a quote once that said, "When you blame others, you give up your power to change." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
We all want to play the victim at times. It even feels good to feel sorry for ourselves. But that puts a lid on our life. It stunts our growth, it damages our marriages, and if you have children, it can even hurt them.
It can seem like a daunting task to take responsibility for our actions. But the Bible says in Philippians 4:13, we can do everything through Christ who gives us strength.
If you've never experienced the love of God, then you don't know your true potential and don't realize how good God is. When you're feeling like a victim, turn to God. He'll give you the strength to move beyond yourself and help you have a victorious marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Attention high school students and parents. ENMU Open House Spring Preview Day is Saturday, March 23rd. Future Greyhounds can get information about admission and scholarships, meet with the faculty to talk about potential majors, get a specialized campus tour, and win great prizes, including a $500 scholarship. Don't miss out on this great opportunity to experience ENMU. Sign up today at enmu.edu/open house. Eastern New Mexico University, student success. That's what we're about.
Hey, Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Trustmark is one of the only roofing companies that's also a licensed commercial and residential general contractor.
Wow.
I know, who cares, right? Well, you should care. You see, a licensed roofer can install a new roof on your home, but really can't handle structural problems underneath. So if your roof needs reframing or your chimney needs a water diverting cricket, you may need to call a licensed general contractor. And coordinating two companies for your roofing job can get costly and messy fast. As a licensed roofer and general contractor, Trustmark can install a stunning new roof on your home and handle structural issues. This saves you time, money, hassle, and even makes it easier to file an insurance claim. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit us at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Artesia General Hospital's family practice providers support the healthcare needs of every member in your family, no matter their age. With locations in Artesia and Carlsbad, our compassionate experts offer a full range of primary services and can help manage chronic conditions, treat illness and injury, and coordinate specialty care. Whether you need a medical provider for your entire family or are getting on track with your annual checkup, we're here for you. Reach out today at artesiageneral.com/family.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A big March run this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings with condition, bred cows, and Angus breeding bulls to be held in conjunction with today's sale is the 21st Annual New Mexico Angus Association Bull and Heifer Sale with 50 registered yearling to 2-year-old Angus bulls, trick and fertility tested, and 2 registered Angus heifers, cataloged with all EPDs available at the sale. These bulls will sell at 1 p.m. We expect to sell 1,800 head today, breaking down like this: 250 weight cows and bulls, 250 pairs of bred cows, 1,350 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 81 Holstein weight cows and yearling heifers off one dairy, 45 bred cows, Mr. Steve Oldfield here southwest of Roswell, excellent quality black black white face Angus cows, mostly third trimester bred to high quality Angus bulls. These cows 3 to 9 years old, mostly 3s to 6s. Several other sets of young, middle-aged, older bred cows for today. 106 calves and light yearlings, the Brown Brothers Ranch here southwest of Roswell. Reputation quality black Brangus, weaned 120 plus days, 3 rounds of shots. PI negative be 30 steers and 76 replacement quality heifers right off short wheat, 500, 675 pounds, 68 calves, Nielsen Ranch, St. John's, Arizona. Excellent quality black white face Angus cross calves, cattle weaned 60 days, 1 round of shots, thin to medium condition right off grass, 450, 600 pounds, 91 calves, David Gable, Roe Mesa, New Mexico. Excellent quality black white face and Charolais crossbred calves, cattle weaned 30 days, 1 round of shots, 350, 550 pounds, 73 calves, light yearlings, Robbins Ranch, Santa Rosa, New Mexico. Good quality black and red crossbreds, cattle weaned 60 days, 2 rounds of shots, 500, 650 pounds, 67 calves, Snow Landing Cattle Company, Dale City, Texas. Excellent quality black and red Brangus crossbred calves, cattle weaned 30 plus days, 1 round of shots, 400, 600 pounds, 38 calves, Kane Ranch, Van Horn, Texas. Excellent quality Charolais crossbred calves, cattle weaned 60 days, medium condition, 400, 575 pounds. Several other sets of high quality weaned calves and light yearlings for today. Sale time this morning 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows 10:30. Be selling calves and yearlings around 11:30 to 12, and we will sell the New Mexico Angus Association bulls at 1 p.m. Continue with the calves and yearlings around 2. We expect to sell 1,800 head here today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio. And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Main Street, Roswell here, we've got Barbara Gomez and Peggy Seski back with us. Good morning, ladies. How y'all doing today?
Hey, we're good. You know, we missed you in February, so sorry about that. It got to be a little crazy.
Busy.
And so,
you guys were back and forth to Santa Fe a lot during that time.
Yeah, during that time. So we missed coming, but
many
thank
people
you.
were
Thank
during
you
that
always.
time. Well, we're anytime. We're glad anytime we can get you guys in, we appreciate it. But that being said, you guys got a lot in the, I mean, between Santa Fe and what's been, they're doing all that, and of course getting ready for UFO Festival and other upcoming events here.
Mhm.
You guys are pretty busy right now.
We are pretty busy. Mike, there's so much going on in the city of Roswell. If people think there's nothing ever happening, you're not reading the paper, you're not keeping track of things, because, we're doing a lot of important stuff, not just Main Street, but the city as a whole.
You have to almost try not to find things to do. Like, you have to literally, because, between social media and just diddy bopping around town, there's something going on. This weekend.
Yeah.
There's several things that are going on if you look and just go out there.
Sure.
I've
been really impressed and proud of our Main Street. Some of our merchants, like She's a Dandy. And
they're all kind of doing their own little.
They're kind of doing their own little,
things.
a few little pop-ups of their own.
Yeah.
We also have the new shop that's over on the further a little bit south, and I always forget what the name of her shop is called, but the Bucking Shoot or something like that.
Oh,
it's a dress shop, but she's also putting on like a.
That's a rodeo reference, right?
Yeah,
the bull shoot.
Yeah. But they're doing something over there as well, and she's having some sales going on over there. And of course, at Stellar, they always have something going on, and so I encourage them.
And what I love about Stellar is they also use their space for other people. Like a lot of nonprofits or little groups, they meet at Stellar. They say, "Come on in." Usually most people buy a cup of coffee and then maybe a sandwich or a pastry or something, but
I'm filling up my card. I go there too much, actually.
But Stellar has always been that community meeting spaces for some people too. So not only do they really, their business, that's what they support back in the community and do their part to kind of be a part of that.
And actually, I'm going to talk a little bit about what they have going on for March, because they have a few fun things going on for March.
Good.
We don't want to forget about St. Patrick's Day and start wearing your green, you guys. My favorite month. So start doing that.
Slip past. I know we want to dump right into Mother's Day, and I get you in Easter and all that.
I know. So don't forget about St. Patrick's Day
get
here
St. Patty's Day
and the green stuff. But just some stakeholder updates. We want to welcome to Main Street Tiny Trends. It's at 116 South Main Street. This is closed for tiny kids. I mean, so little
Okay.
kids. So if you're
So
wondering,
infants and toddlers.
yeah.
and-
So
okay.
so they're at 116 South Main Street. Tiny Trends, and so make sure you see them. And if you've not walked into Imagine That recently, they have done some remodeling in their business. So stop by and check it out. You know,
Mhm.
ask Deanie, what's going on there, and to give you a
She's
quick
been
update.
involved with the community for a very long time,
Oh yeah,
too. We're
she
talking
has.
about,
And if you're looking for cards, things to arts and crafts and paints, and she has classes, so that's a really fun place to be.
Yeah, and they kind of evolve as time, because you think about just what her business is and
Mhm.
scrapbooking and all that's really evolved over the years
Oh,
that
yeah.
she's been in business, and she's able to kind of keep up with the trends and things, and it's kind of I applaud her for that, because there's a lot less people doing that art anymore.
Well, Peggy kind of does some of that.
Yeah, but she's able to keep it relevant for folks and keeping that going, and so it's so great what she's done with that business, and it's great that community supports it, because I gotta admit, when you hear about business like it's like in a day where everything's on a camera, you know what I mean? It's
Well,
people
she's
aren't
taking it from the camera to the
and
paper,
turning it
so-
and she's kind of made that, and that's what I love about that is some of the things that were becoming lost art. She's kind of bringing back into the fold a little
kind of
bit.
a
Yeah.
fun thing
I
to
like
do
that.
there
It's
as
a good
well.
thing.
And talking about St. Patrick's Day, talking about She's a Dandy, she's also hosting another pop-up, with the next one being on March the 16th.
Nice. She always has good stuff going on.
It's called Pot
every
of
time.
Gold Downtown Shopping, and I printed it, but I
Okay.
don't have it for you, Mike. But she's inviting the rest of the Main Street merchants to join with her. So she has CS Designs that's jumped in, and she also has Casa Bella Boutique, Bullocks, the Runyon Farms will be out there again. The last time she did it, she had I think it was a goat and a baby calf inside of her store.
Yeah,
because it
it's-
was really cold that day.
And that's the fun part, is you come for the animals and stay for the sales and stuff. But yeah,
Right.
when the Runyon cattle, the Runyon folks bring the exotic animals in and things, it's always a treat. And I don't care if you're 12 or 80.
Right.
You're in there hanging out and into it.
So there's fun things going on here. The Farm and Ranch, a cattle company, will also be there, but they're also going to have like Whole Foods, which everybody wants donuts, right? I love donuts. And So Delicious will be there. So she's got jewelry and a few fun things going on. So
Nice.
don't miss out on that.
Just don't get your finger sticky on the jewelry from the donuts.
Yeah, that's true.
They frown upon that.
And then just to kind of go into what Stellar has going on, you want to tell them a little bit, Peggy, about what's going on?
They're doing a street market.
Okay.
On March 17th.
Oh, nice.
Same weekend as. When is?
And that's at Stellar?
Yep, that's March 16th. This
Cool.
is March 17th.
So they're gonna be selling like some of their stuff, kind of like street side, like kind of like a market kind of thing.
They're inviting
Cool.
people to come
And they're
out.
inviting vendors to.
I don't know, to kind of set up shop with
come
them
and
and all
join
that.
them, and so.
I love that.
I mean, that's $20
For a space if they wanted to do that.
So it's going to be a lot of people down there walking
Yeah.
around, so it'd be a good.
And
opportunity.
you make some great purchases doing that kind of, because those are the best impulse buys, things that
Yeah.
you really love but you didn't realize you loved to. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like you just walk around, like, what is that? Is amazing. I never, you didn't think you need or want it, and then you find it. Or a food or something that you've never tried before, and that's when you get to try that.
I asked
Yeah.
him the other day when I was in there, because like I say, I seem to be in there a lot. Actually, the interesting thing is I was there meeting with Daniel and Megan next door. They have that Moon Rock Outfitters. If you've never been to Moon Rock Outfitters, that is really cool. If you like hiking, biking, skateboarding, skating, they have everything you
Kinda
need in there. But
outdoor
Yeah.
outdoor activities and adventure. And
Sure,
things.
and so I got a coffee and muffin. It was really, really fun. But here's a list of some of the events that they have coming up every single week. So in case you're wondering, what can I do tonight?
A different day of the week too.
Yes.
Not always the same.
So kind of keep checking back often.
Yes. Every Wednesday they're going to do Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Starting about 5:00. Thursdays is Smash Brothers or Mario Kart.
Okay,
And
so
every
gaming.
Saturday
Gaming.
is karaoke.
Nice. So if you're a D&D person,
And then
and because because that game, because it really got popular back in the 70s, 80s.
Well,
And it's coming back.
Mario
I mean, it's
Brothers seems to be
really-
coming back as well.
So you've probably, for the people that play Dungeons & Dragons, you get everyone from probably like 10, 15 to 50, 60, 70 years old. Yeah,
you might.
absolutely.
You might as well.
Yeah.
So those of you that like a little drink every once in a while, This is going to be fun.
Pub crawl.
Yeah.
It's going to be
It's
a
a
bike.
bike ride.
Oh, nice.
So you're not
Too much drinking.
Yeah, that's right. Enough to keep your motor skills about you.
That's going to be March 16th.
Okay.
At 4 o'clock.
Nice.
So
Yeah. So if you're saying there's nothing going on for St. Patrick's Day,
And,
you have a few things going on already.
And generally speaking, the weather's usually pretty nice around that time of year
Isn't it
here.
gorgeous today?
Yeah, it is. The only thing we usually have to worry about a little bit is breezes and winds, but maybe they'll cooperate.
Yeah, but we've had every bit of weather you could think about.
Oh, we've had the entire year's worth of weather in 1 week.
1 week.
Snow, rain, sun, heat, wind,
dust storms,
Armageddon. I think we just missed raining cats and dogs. About
That's right.
That's about the only thing we didn't get.
That's all we need. I don't need any more dogs. Thank you.
We're
Or
good.
cats.
We're kind of overpopulated in that world.
But again, books and again, they're over here on Virginia Avenue. If you buy a book, they will enter you into a raffle for a library brick. So what's happening is the Roswell Library is developing an outdoor play and learn area on the north side of the library with access to the children's area and enhancing the library park located on Richardson. So basically, you can go there and you can buy a brick. And I don't know what they do. They put your name on it, but it helps to commemorate and enhance the curb appeal of the library.
In essence, it'll be there at the park there for as long as the park's there.
Yeah, because if you think about it, even on Reichman Park, some of the local names are still around there. If you ever get in there and look at the names, it's
if you go over to the Historical Society and for the J.P. White House there, they have the flagpole with the wall. Those are the bricks there. It's the very same concept They may lay them out different or put them in a different way, but that's kind of the same
and the library also, right? The tree?
Yeah, the tree of tree of knowledge.
Yeah,
tree of learning. I'm sorry.
Tree of learning or knowledge. Yeah. Very nice. Hey, so I was out looking at the gateway for Kiwanis as I was out at Kim Burton's place looking at some lettering and things, and I saw this really cool new sign that's going up. Historical Society?
Yeah, we're getting a new sign.
Is this a big secret, or am I letting something out of the bag?
This is something we've been working on for years, and because our old sign and like a lot of signs around here, they're made of that certain paint, and then when the sun hit it, it just faded and burned them out. So we're finally, being the historical society, there's always something to fix. We're finally getting around to the sign.
But you know what? You guys did something really cool on that sign that I'm looking to do on one of the other signs that I'm working on.
Okay.
You're doing a solar light on that.
Yeah, we're trying to get technically advanced.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really, really cool. So congratulations to you guys on your new sign.
Well, thank you.
You're not part of the district completely, but you are still
we're
part
right
of us.
there. We're kissing cousins.
Yeah,
we're
kissing cousins. We're close by.
We're like neighbors. We get sugar and coffee from you guys.
Yeah, so, and then something else happening on Main Street. There are a few open businesses downtown. So 311 North Main, what used to be the Calico Cow, is currently now Carla Rose Boutique, but she is closing. So if you were looking for a place to move into, that's not the only place that's open on Main Street.
But that's right downtown.
That's right downtown.
Right in the heart of the downtown district.
Has a great entry area. You could actually put things out in the front there and sell, do sidewalk sales.
A lot of curb appeal there and a lot of visual.
And it's a big building.
Yeah.
So if you're looking, give us a call or take a drive down Main Street and see what we have going on. We are filling some areas up.
And you got good neighbors.
And you do. You have great neighbors there. You can run down and get coffee.
That's right.
Or go to the T-shirt place and Moon Man and get you a T-shirt.
Or get a haircut if you need to. Right all right there.
So we
One-stop shop.
So we want to encourage you guys to please check the Main Street Facebook. We post a lot of things on there, and that's open to everybody.
You should like and follow with it. That way, whenever new things, it pops up on your wall, and that way, so whenever there's some of these weekend pop-up events or more of our tentpole chili cheese UFO stuff going on, that you're staying up to date on that. I know we're about to roll in. Well, we are officially in March. It's day one of March. But things like the farmers market and stuff, that's only a couple months away. And when you want it, you're going to want to know. Peggy's like, don't remind me. But we're going to be right around the corner. You're going to be like, when's the farmers market? When's all that going to be happening? And the first place to know is follow the Facebook page. It'll keep you up to date on all.
Well, we're going to get ready to put a calendar up pretty soon, a calendar of events, and hopefully people will stay informed and not wonder what's coming up next.
Yeah.
But what is coming up next, you did talk about it. It's a UFO festival.
Yes.
July 5th, 6th, and 7th. And we are still looking for sponsors. We're going to be looking for vendors, food trucks, and we're still kind of looking around at entertainment. But this year is going to be a big blast all over town, not just at the convention center, but everything on
It is
Main
a
Street.
community-wide organized
Event this year, yes.
You guys are kind of the wrangle of the
Kind
group.
of. Kind of wrangle. What are you
the
saying?
wrangle, the meeting spot, or meet with the Main Street to talk to UFO. But it is a collaborative, more than just Main Street. That's very
It's a
much a part
collaborative.
of
The UFO Museum.
Yeah, you guys are just kind of the.
I think you said it right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what
The
I'm saying?
wranglers.
Wranglers, because it's like herding cats, trying to make sure that everybody's, where they need to be. But the cool part of it, and I'm not going to talk too much about this now because we have a lot of time to talk about it later. But we hope and are planning to put together one collective calendar. So you'll have the, what do you want to call it? The umbrella of the UFO Festival.
Like the official itinerary of the UFO
and under
Festival.
it will be the Alien Fest, what's happening at the Galacticon.
Okay,
And that one
convention.
is
that public?
And the public is
information.
invited to occur
Yes.
if you have.
If you want to see it, we'll be doing a PowerPoint presentation talking about what it's going to look like, where it's going to be. And again, it's an informational. It is not a planning meeting.
Gotcha.
So I'm saying it's just
kind of giving people the game plan a little bit here.
Yeah, to let everybody know
make
what's
people
going
aware.
Yeah, well,
what's going
and that's such a great area of town. It's like there's so much potential. And
It's right next to the railroad district.
Well, that whole area is what it used to be, and obviously the city's role has changed a little bit, so that area's role changed a little bit, and it's kind of gotten into different times. And so it's kind of.
I think we're going to keep the railroad.
But that's just it. We've seen over the years kind of a resurge of the railroad in that district where you're starting to see more arts and culture coming in. And so this is kind of cementing that to keep that area more of that going and more.
Right.
So we're, in theory, on a Thursday or Friday night, you're downtown shopping and walking another block over, maybe experience some more things over there to do. Maybe another place to eat or a place to shop or a place to experience a little concert or a theater in the park kind of thing, or who knows what the possibilities are.
Sure. You know, that area in 2016, I believe, it became a metropolitan redevelopment area.
Okay.
The railroad district did. And so we're still kind of looking at some of those plans to see what could be done there.
There's so much potential
because
cool
it's got
stuff.
a lot of great potential.
Like
so.
I always see and I don't know the whole story, but that big pavilion there that's by 3rd Street Station, and you're just like, I don't know if that's part of that or what, but I'm like, what great things a community could do like this.
Oh,
in
yeah.
That
and as a matter of fact,
facility.
we're kind of brainstorming still about maybe seeing if we could move some of the UFO things there, even for adult
you
type
could have
things to do.
dances and all kinds of stuff in there. I'm sure that's what they used to do back in the day. And everything.
Yeah, probably did.
We've used it in the past.
Yeah.
It's been several years before
Now,
COVID.
me, I used to play roller hockey and stuff. So I look at that thing, I'm like, man, I'd love to go play roller hockey in there. It's got boards and everything.
That would be a good place for that.
Yeah, it's all you need.
I didn't think about that.
It's a little big because you're going to be tired, but because normally rinks aren't quite that big.
What you need, but you need some room for the audience and for the bleachers.
Yeah, but you want them
and for people
outside the board, not inside. Otherwise, they become participants.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want
in there.
You don't want them in the middle of a hip check. But
Right.
But yes, I love that, and to me, that's really the diamond in the rough for Roswell. It's like that could be a huge golden gem area if we just put a little bit of investment and time and love TLC in that area.
Well, we could use some investment money for sure.
Yeah.
But just yesterday, I was having discussions with a few young people that are talking about doing something within that silo, that huge silo.
Okay.
And so that's not a done deal. It's just in the let's brainstorm about this.
I love it. Because people with
what,
ideas and people with
let's
things.
see what
that
comes
means,
out of that, because I'm in on it.
Because the more that's going on, the less you see of the abandoned buildings, all the negative sides that come with that. Yep. This all combats all of that. Because I've heard people, and you're right, some people are like, oh, you go right off there, blocks a bad area and all that. It's like, yeah, but there's only one way to fix that, is make this better. And then all goes away. And there is so many evidence of cities across the world that when you go to the bad part of the neighborhood and you go in there and you put some things that draw and attract people, it goes from a bad neighborhood to a good neighborhood. There's too much evidence
they're
for that.
transforming some of those areas, and even in Albuquerque that I'm seeing, in Texas and some places that I've been to.
Absolutely.
They've taken abandoned buildings or even railway areas and totally
industrial
transformed
districts
and transformed
and turn them into community spaces.
We need to kind of do some of that.
And I think this could, and to be honest, it's in a beautiful location for us. It's right in the heart of downtown and everything.
Walking distance.
So you don't have to convince people to come there. They're probably going to be nearby anyway. So, that's what I love about it. There's so much potential. So please come to that meeting on March.
That's on March the, what did I say?
18th?
March the 19th.
19th at the Convention
At 5:30 p.m. at the Convention Center, Meeting Room A.
Open to the public.
It's open to the public, so if you have interest and want to see what's going on,
absolutely.
Please, it's not a complaining time. It's a time just to envision what Roswell could be like.
Roswell is your community. If
right.
you are not taking a part in making it better, then you have no right to complain. That's the way I see it.
I on that one.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? Okay, I'll talk about it. The wayfinding plan. Just to let you know, in 2016, also the city had come up with a wayfinding plan. What wayfinding means, and I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, this is just residual.
I know. Yeah, you got to get it all out of your body.
If you make me laugh or something, that's when it gets to be a problem.
Really bad.
Or I make
How about
myself
if I give you some salsa? How about that? That'll clear you out.
Well, it has to clear this way. That way. This way's not too bad.
So anyway, we did get a $100,000 grant for design and planning of 2 gateways and kiosks with benches right down the street.
Nice.
We're actually looking at a possible interactive map. This first part of it, the $100K, was approved for just the design, and planning.
And so the whole kind of end game of this is to kind of give you a visual establishment of the Main Street district.
Of what it'll look like.
So when you drive, you see, here's the arch. I'm officially in the Main Street district.
And then you know what the cool thing about it is? This is kind of almost a new thing because we're on a DOT highway. Main Street doesn't usually have things across the street. So the fact that the DOT has been working with us on this, so we're in the first phases of this. So be on the lookout. Hopefully soon we will have the gateways up and ready to go and welcoming people to Roswell. It'll also have
they're going to be also become unofficial landmarks of the town. Because when people need directions anywhere, guess where you're going? Go to the gateway.
Oh, yeah.
How many times we see, go to the big alien, turn right. I mean, it's just what we do around here when you give people. And so those arches, it's going to, define and show people we have a Main Street district, and this is it. But
that's a new word, right?
See, he's using it.
But it also, is that a community thing, a landmark, a thing to know that you're where you're at. And
the other thing that we're working on, Mike, it's not a done deal yet, of course, because we're still in the design phase, but we're hoping to have kind of an LED sign on one side of it that talks about what's going on downtown.
So make it a little informational
as well.
And if there's a parade or something that's going to mess plans up, you can notify people through that sign as a way of getting that word out too. So it's absolutely.
So we're really, really excited about that. Like I said, there's so many exciting things happening in Roswell, and as you read in the newspaper this morning, the rah-rah, we made it to the next
We're down
phase.
to the final 2, I think.
Three.
That's what it's 3, yeah.
3.
We should know by April, if I remember right.
Yeah, we should know by April about that. Everything like that, Mike, affects all of us. It affects Main Street. It affects the way that we should look at our town and prepare. And so what if it doesn't come to Roswell? We've still cleaned up and made our town look better.
And here's it. Not to get way in the weeds and philosophy and stuff, but just kind of, when people are talking about the Reno air races and kind of, you hear the yay or nay or people's opinions on it. And the one common thing that people would shout as a negative, and I want to say something about that, is we don't have the infrastructure for that. We don't have enough hotels. That's kind of the knock that people are that want to try to poo-poo on this are using. And not at first. We have a lot because of oil and gas already. But sometimes you need a goal to know what you got to do next. And okay, so we're going to need more hotels. We're going to guess what? Now that we say Reno air racers are coming to Roswell, and it's etched in stone, that cements something. And people that were wishy-washy about committing to come to Roswell, a hotel chain, it's going to bring more of that. And it's not like they say in April, Roswell, you're our next Reno air races. They're not going to show up in May with a bunch of airplanes and saying, let's do this.
No,
there's going to be at least a year before that happens. So there's going to be time to work on the infrastructure and get it up to code. Is it going to take a few years? Year one might be a little, as we work out the hiccups and the hijinks that's going to be involved and the whole just logistics of moving in a staple from one part of the country to another part. It'll take time. We got to build that.
But you know
that
what, Mike?
will come.
I think that people need to think about this. There's no way that we would have gotten this far without some planning, without some discussions, without these the city managers and the city councilors and Mike Espiritu and people having a multitude about, well, when this happens, what are we going to do about this? I mean, it's not like they're oblivious of it. They are actually actively working on things.
And to me, I hear JFK, we're going to the moon. Like this, when when they're saying we're shooting for the Reno air races, I look at this as JFK throwing the gauntlet thing. We're going to put a man on the moon by the end of the decade.
Right.
And to me, this is in the same kind. And guess what we did? We did it. We bust our humps and everything else. And so I look at it as say we don't have the infrastructure. I think we've got more than you think we do. But say you're right and we don't. Well, great. We just got our gauntlet thrown, and we got 2 years to get it to be there.
Right. Well,
and we're going to figure it out.
Be a part of the solution, not be a part of the problem. So,
because you want to sit there, there's not enough hotels, and I don't want to potentially bring another $100 million to our state or whatever this thing could do at some point or another. You know, this could be as big or bigger as UFO. I mean, Balloon Fiesta and all that kind of stuff.
They've talked about all of that.
You know, this can rival with the International Balloon Fiesta in terms of putting things on the map and stuff like that. The potential is there, and you pair that with our UFO already international knowledge.
I think it's a win-win for everybody.
I could easily sit there, and ESPN's coming to town the week there, and it turns into Daytona, with all the air races and the people coming, and that's the potential for this.
It is.
It's hard to see it right now.
It's exciting. So, but in the meantime, you guys, we're going to have great weather this weekend.
Yeah.
Please spend some time downtown. Spend some money locally. What's that?
I got a little ahead of myself, didn't I?
I got to bring Mike back down to Main Street, okay?
It does happen.
That's okay, Mike. I'm with you.
That's right. It does happen. I get a high horse.
There will be a few things going out really soon. Some of you have been asking about posters for the UFO. Some of that will be coming out soon. Yeah. But in the meantime, you guys, let's enjoy March. Yeah. Come see downtown. Shop a little bit, and have something to eat, some coffee.
Enjoy, and come take advantage of these sales and pop-ups at our local. Trust me, if you're needing clothing or really anything, look to your local merchants first. Look to your Main Street merchants. Odds are you'll find someone that's got what you want, and they're
candles
going to,
and rocks and.
But the customer service, the knowledge of product, you can't beat that. I mean, yes, I get it. We all hit your big box stores at some point to buy whatever. Life, it's life. I get it. But when you need things that you want, you want, it's like, oh, I want a new cook set. Ooh, I want to get a new formal wear. I want to get a new party dress, or I want to get
maybe even a dish towel that nobody else has because you're in a specialty store that kind of carries things like that.
Exactly. Or it's like, well, you know what? I want to get me some good country or
salsa. I got some salsa. She's a dandy the other day. Peach salsa. Yeah.
Local, your jerkies and salsas, and we got a bunch of people make some really good stuff. But
jerkies
that's
for sure.
That's where you're supporting by doing that. And I know you and I for years have been talking about, you spend $1 at a mom and pop, more of that dollar stays in town if you spend it at a big box store, and it's certainly none of it stays in town if it's online, unless it's an local online. Yeah. And so that really makes a difference.
Yeah, and my vision really, Mike, is I would love to see Roswell be more of a walking town. We don't walk very much.
Yeah.
We like to just drive up and get off and get back on, but wouldn't it be great to see more people strolling downtown and
spending the afternoon just hanging out?
Just hanging out. And we're working on putting the benches where they need to be and trying to make sure the trees, Jim Burris and the city's really trying to keep our downtown looking nice and the trees. So
absolutely. When the weather's nice.
Yep.
Sitting around the courthouse lawn on a Friday afternoon or
come out.
One of the nicest places in town to do it.
That's right. Historical and beautiful.
Plenty of shade, lots of things to see and do, walk around. You just want to find a bench and a book and a sandwich.
Or find a tourist that's asking so many questions about what's going on in Roswell.
Yeah.
That's the cool part.
Sometimes just hanging out and seeing it and just, drinking in your history. Yeah. You ever spend an afternoon just looking around the Pioneer Plaza and reading the statues and doing some of that stuff and seeing a little of your history? There's a lot there if you pay attention.
So I don't know when exactly it's coming up, but I understood that in March sometime that they will be putting up the rocket. You remember the old rocket?
The slide that was at the zoo?
That was at the zoo. They have redone that into an art piece.
It's been ongoing
It's been going on.
COVID. For like
Josh
3
Berry's
years.
been working on that. And the last I heard that it was going up on the corner of southeast corner of the plaza the Pioneer Plaza, and so that's going to be up before the UFO festival.
All right, so it'll be
another piece to draw on people to go look at. And for those of you that remember, it was a hot slide to go down.
And I'm lucky enough. I I'm lucky enough. I moved to Roswell in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I met my wife, got out of the military, and came to Roswell. And I remember in those early days, first couple years, I had family come to town. We go to the zoo, and the rocket slide was there and everything. I remember climbing up as a grown man and burning my legs on that big thing and all the, it's a death trap. It was our death
It's
trap.
funny because I
we
never
loved
worried
it.
about any of that with my kids going down. They go all the way to the top and go down the slide and go down so fast.
But it was an iconic, it was like when I thought the zoo, the first thing you think of was that big giant slide, rocket slide that was in the playground there.
I'm so glad they saved it.
And so, yes, you're right. But I feel blessed and lucky enough. I was here to see the slide before it got taken down and retired because it's no longer a safe piece of equipment for children anymore. But
well, we survived. Remember?
we did. Yeah. Well, we had lawn darts too. And
Yeah, that's true.
Either, so.
Yeah, I remember one of my kids coming out of the garage with a dart on his head. His brother got him, and it was stuck, but it wasn't that far. But it was just sticking out, and I was like, "Oh, great!"
It's like, yeah, a lot of trips to the ER. But you don't know that does make me happy, and I hope there's a lot, and I think a lot of people in town, like you said, the particularly ones that grow up with their childhoods with involving that
have
slide.
a lot of memories.
Yeah,
and so some of the kids that are coming back, for the summer are coming to see their parents will see that and say, I remember going down that slide.
Yeah,
so that's going to be a really cool piece.
Yeah.
Can't wait till it's up.
I'll be anxious to see how they turn the statue or whatever they would call it. Not memorial. That's not the right word.
Oh, what do they call it?
Statue, art piece. Maybe?
Yeah, the art piece.
I guess would you call it?
I think it's an art piece.
I think
now.
of statues and stuff, but more art piece. But it's really cool. So
yeah, and it's going to be
so look
tall.
for it here in the coming months and all that. Of course, MainStreetRoswell.org is the Main Street website.
Well, it's ed. Well, yeah, MainStreetRoswell.com is our webpage. If you want to know more about the UFO Festival, if you go into UFO Festival Roswell, let's see, is that it? UFO Festival Roswell.com. It'll take you into the city's website. Is that what it's on there, Peggy? I forgot what it is. But anyway, if it takes you into the website, it gives you another link that opens up into everything that's going to be going on.
And that'll be the official UFO Festival.
So it's the city's UFO Festival webpage.
Gotcha.
If you get on that, it'll take you right into what's
and that'll
going
be
on.
where you go when you want to find out everything that's going on that weekend and where it's at, what time.
Galacticon, you select Galacticon, it'll open up their calendar and what's going on, or Alien Fest. So
that way you can time it. So if they've got something going on over here and then Galacticon's got a panel talk you don't want to miss,
you don't want to miss
you
that.
can plot and plan accordingly.
Right. So anyway, but it's going to be cool, but we're not going to talk too much about UFO today. We'll wait a little bit longer.
That's right. But get involved if you have any questions about anything, or if you're a Main Street merchant and you would love to, and maybe you got some questions or things you need help. I know, Barbara, you guys try to visit everybody.
Yeah,
here,
we
but
do. We try.
Sometimes they need to get a hold of you and you're not around, but don't hesitate to reach out and let, maybe, if you're a Main Street member and you haven't really taken advantage of some of the Main Street district opportunities, please reach out to Barbara or Peggy or any of
Peggy's
the
the
Main
vice
Street
president, so
board
feel free
or
to
volunteers.
reach out to Peggy.
Yeah, and reach out and be happy
Somebody
to...
else besides me.
To be honest, you'll find out that it's all made up of people like you, because really, the people involved, a lot of them are Main Street business owners as well, too, because it's their district.
It's our town, you guys.
It's their ownership. They take possession. They want you to do that, too.
Yep.
So, and if you're looking for real estate downtown, there are some spots. Talk to Main Street Roswell. They can get you in touch with the
the
people
owners or people that are renting.
if you want to take a look or do some thinking about it, they can help you.
So I'm excited. There's so many things going on, Mike, that I'm not at liberty to speak about yet, but pretty quick you're going to see a few new things popping up.
All right, we'll get the Men in Black and you can tell us, but you got to use that eraser thing.
Oh, I know how to do that.
I got one in my thumb.
Well, thank you, Mike.
Well, thank you guys. Have a great weekend.
You guys have a great weekend. And see you soon.
Don't work too hard, and we'll see you guys next time, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Anytime. It is 9:57. Let's pause for your Wall Street Business Update. Quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Taken over the investigation. Says a domestic fight had broken out and one person had fled down the alleyway. The officers both said they believed the man pulled a gun from his waistband. The unnamed man was shot by at least one of the Artesia officers and is now recovering at a hospital. No other details are known at this time. A traffic alert beginning today. Road work starts on NM2 from Dexter to south of Midway. The work will be ongoing during the day, and the project is not expected to be completed until later this spring. An Artesia firefighter has found himself arrested after opening fire with a pistol during a domestic argument. Eddy County deputies arrested Mario Samaniago Thursday night for aggravated assault of a household member following the dispute that occurred a few days prior. The report says Samaniago drove to his estranged wife's home where a verbal altercation ensued. At some point, Samaniago is accused of pulling a gun and firing one shot. Nobody was injured. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
This court could be about to issue a ruling in a case important to former President Trump's bid for the White House.
The Supreme Court is considering whether former President Donald Trump can be kicked off the ballot, and the Colorado Supreme Court ruled that because he's disqualified from being president again, he's barred from being on the state's primary ballot, and that primary is one of the 16 contests on Tuesday.
Correspondent Mark Sherman, the Trump campaign says the attempt to bar Mr. Trump from the ballot in Colorado and a couple of other blue states is blatantly political, depriving voters of the right to choose the candidate of their choice. A milestone day in the presidential primaries. Tomorrow is Super Tuesday. More than a dozen states and American Samoa staging nominating contests. Nikki Haley has won the Washington, D.C. primary, netting 19 delegates in her first primary win.
Her victory is not numerically significant, however, as it has just 22,000 registered Republican voters. Ms. Haley said it was no surprise that Republicans in Washington rejected Donald Trump and what she described as all his chaos. Mr. Trump said she had been crowned the Queen of the Swamp by Washington lobbyists protecting what he called the failed status quo. So far, Mr. Trump has been dominant in the state primaries. He's poised to rack up many more delegates this week on Super Tuesday, when 15 states nominate their choice.
The BBC's Charles Haviland, former President Trump, has 244 delegates heading into the Super Tuesday contest. Parts of Interstate 80 in the Sierra Nevada mountains still closed as Northern California deals with the season's biggest snowstorm. There have been fierce winds and snow measured in feet. On Wall Street, the Dow down 66 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Japan's benchmark Nikkei stock index has opened at an all-time high this morning, but the Japanese economy is fragile, having slipped into a recession just last month.
It's the first time in over 3 decades that the market has reached such a high. In 1989, it almost went to 39,000 points. Economists say Japanese stocks are benefiting from a cheaper yen, U.S. concerns about Chinese influence in the region, and the global demand for semiconductors. But Japan's wider economy continues to struggle as households grapple with the rising cost of living and stagnant wages. Last month, Japan slipped into an unexpected recession and has lost its place as the world's 3rd largest economy to Germany.
And that's the BBC's Shaima Halil reporting. China's efforts to restore confidence and rev up its economy will top the agenda during this month's meeting of the ceremonial National Legislature, communist country. News and analysis, townhall.com. NATO kicks off an exercise to defend its newly expanded Nordic territory.
More than 20,000 soldiers from 13 nations are taking part in the Norway-led Nordic Response 2024 drills over the next 2 weeks in the northern regions of Finland, Norway, and Sweden. Finland, which shares an 830-mile border with Russia, joined NATO in April of 2023 after decades of military non-alignment. And neighboring Sweden is currently finalizing formalities to enter NATO as its 32nd member, most likely in March. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
And this just in from the U.S. Supreme Court. The High Court has restored former President Trump to the 2024 presidential primary ballots. The justices rejecting state attempts to hold the Republican former president accountable for the U.S. Capitol riot. The justices issuing that ruling just moments ago. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. For real 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yes.
Hope your Monday's going well.
Indeed. How was your weekend?
Not bad. My wife's sick now, so we're kind of laying low.
Just
and
hanging around the house.
I did, caught up on a few things, but kind of took it a little easy for the weekend. And, though I did watch a movie from years ago that somehow slipped my radar. And so yesterday or Saturday, it was over the weekend. I was scrolling on the internet. I was on Twitter or Facebook. I don't remember which.
Right.
And they showed a clip from a movie talking. I don't even remember the point of the meme. I don't even remember what it was about. But it was a clip from a movie with Rob Schneider, and he's in prison, literally just kicking everybody's butt. Like, what? I don't remember this movie.
I vaguely do.
What is this? So I went and looked in the comments. Big Stan is the name of the movie.
Stan. I vaguely do remember that.
It came out, I think, sometime in the 90s, maybe. I don't remember the date on it. It's an older movie. And so the premise of the movie is Rob Schneider.
He finds out he has to go to jail, right? And
yes.
It's basically Get Hard.
Kind of, yes, but pre-Get Hard. It came out before Get Hard.
No, yeah, of course, yeah.
But the difference is, like, in Get Hard, it's the premise is Will Ferrell is a, let's face it, he's an honest dude that gets set up.
A milquetoast fella.
Yes. And then so Kevin Hart has to get him hard and ready for prison. So this movie is Rob Schneider's like a real estate developer guy, and he's shady. He swindles old people out of their money and takes in. So he gets busted, and so he's going to end up going to jail for like 10 years, and then he fires his lawyer, who is Richard Kind, who's in it for about 10 minutes.
Nice.
And hires another lawyer who's an actor that I've seen 1,000 times. He plays like a older lawyer type, like country lawyer type and things. But he's a shady lawyer, and so he bribes the judge to get him 3 to 5 years, and to give him 6 months to get his affairs in order before he has to go to prison. So
Scott Wilson.
Yeah. Okay.
No, he's the warden. I'm sorry.
He's a lawyer.
David Carradine's in this.
Yes, and that was where I was getting to.
Yeah.
So he's got 6 months to get ready for prison, and he comes across David Carradine, the master. And the master moves in with him and gets him hard, like Get Hard. And then he goes on and regulates, because there's shadiness going on in the prison, and he redeems himself. And they're trying to get the whole prison to because the land it's sitting on, the guy wants to develop commercial or residential property,
Right.
and use Rob Schneider as his, go-to because that's what he does. And so first he's playing along, but then they want to sabotage the prison, so they have riots and make it too dangerous, and of course he saves the day. So
Big Stan.
But anyway, it's an awful movie, but I loved it. Like, it was entertaining, and I laughed my butt off. And but it's an awful Rob Schneider movie. It's not anything of merit. But if you want to watch it, you can for free. There's only one place I found it for free.
Tubi.
Yeah. Tubi had it.
Tubi is like the drain. It's like where all the nonsense ends up.
I could have bought it on Amazon Prime for $12. I'm like, I'm not spending $12 to own Big Stan. I'm just not doing it. Not going to do it.
Mike, did you buy Big Stan?
And then my wife said, "Oh, here it is on Tubi." I was like, "Nah, I bet it's not there either." And I went,
It's
sure
there
enough,
just
it was
with
there.
commercial breaks.
And to be honest, there's only one or two. It wasn't like enough to.
No, it's
I
not.
mean,
It's not invasive.
yeah. So you know what? If you're looking for a Rob Schneider movie that's kind of funny but stupid, but you'll laugh for an hour and 49 minutes, Big Stan.
There you go. Seal of approval. I had the thought, like, it dwell in my head for a good solid half a day recently. Do I just really like bad movies? Because, like, most of the movies that I loved, like, as a kid, as a young adult, now, they're what critics would call garbage, mostly. It's like, for example, one of my favorite movies of all time, bar none, is Hot Rod.
Yeah.
That movie got destroyed by the critics.
Yeah.
People hated that movie. I can watch that movie 13 times in a row. I'd be fine with it.
Yeah. Well, and that's just it. That's the older I get in life, the more I've learned it's like, screw those people. But critics are agenda people.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I'll sit there and watch them and be like, this is terrible, but I love it.
Yeah. Critics' whole job is to convince you that their job is relevant.
You're not wrong.
That's all a movie critic's job is.
That's why I wanted to be a food critic when I was a kid. Like, wait, I get to eat and criticize?
Yeah. Well, at least a food critic, like, can give you concrete.
Not necessarily,
like,
though.
These people don't know how to cook eggs. The eggs are raw. You know what I mean?
They can do that, but taste is also
subjective. Absolutely. But more so in movies, because universally, even if you don't like steak, you can look at it and say, that's a good steak. You know what I mean?
Right.
A movie, you can get two people and watch, I don't know, Gone with the Wind. And two people are going to say, this is a masterpiece, and two people are going to say, this was 3 hours of my life I'm not going to get back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's way subjective. And so I even say movies is worse, because at least the food critics can at least teach us something. Hey, maybe you should cook the eggs a little longer.
Although,
hey, maybe the movie critic is
argue,
basically just trying to convince me that their bougie opinion's more important than yours.
But I could argue that the movie critic does the same thing to an extent. If it's bad cinematography, if there's bad CGI, they're going to get called to the carpet on it. Even people who don't know movies know when a bad jump cut pops up in a movie.
Yeah, but that people can figure out for themselves. Like, when you watch a movie and it is edited poorly, you notice it. You know what I mean? Or if it's...
But from a critical standpoint, if I'm going to a critic, I'm listening to their opinions before I actually do the thing myself.
Yeah, but how much of that is an artistic choice?
It's a good question.
I mean, Quentin Tarantino movies can be confusing as all get out if you're not paying attention.
Right.
But that's an artistic choice when it comes to storytelling.
There was a movie years ago that came out, and it was a comedy. But the last shot of the movie, like the very last shot, was them cutting, and then like the camera going to like the crew, and it's like a full pullback of the curtain. But it's one of my favorite things in cinema. It's when they just show you, yes, we're all having fun.
We love breaking the third wall. That's something that movies or fourth wall or whatever, the fifth wall or 17th wall, whatever it is.
Third wall was the Kool-Aid man.
Okay.
Fourth wall was the reason we got to see it.
Whatever we're up to. That's just something everyone loves inside baseball. Some more than others. I'm more than others. But and that's, but I don't know. I could at least take a food person's critic's opinion and at least formulate my own opinion from it. From a movie critic, I'm like, this guy just doesn't like war movies. This guy doesn't like comedies. This person doesn't like whatever, you know.
And you'll notice that too with a lot of like critics, if you like really pay attention to what they would say. You have a type.
And to be honest, people that get paid money for their opinions on movies, because they're in that place, they're automatically going to poop on anything that's common, or you know, it's craft beer all over again.
Right.
You know, it's like, I love that movie Sideways because it's so deep and da da da. But
which is kind of ironic because the movie Sideways is literally poking fun at that thing.
I know, but but at the same time, those people are literally the people that, when Sideways came out, all those people were, it's so good. It's so it was all right.
It's funny. It's
it was all right. There's a couple funny
scenes in it. It has
in
aromatic notes of cherries and wood.
Yeah, you got a good deal for a movie that cost $100,000 to make or whatever it was. It was pretty good.
Okay, I'm gonna submit this to you then. I love that movie, but I initially judged that movie because I was walking through, I think it was a Hastings, it might have been a Walmart, and I saw it in the bargain bin, and I automatically will cast aspersions on movies that are bargain bin.
Yeah.
Like, I'll look through it to see if there's any gems, but for the most part, when I look at a bargain bin, I'm like, that's a big load of crap.
You see a lot of Pauly Shore movies. And
but that bright green case for
Rob
Sideways,
Schneider movies.
Yeah, Rob Schneider. One of my favorite jokes in South Park ever is the Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider stars as a stapler. It's the stapler. But I saw that bright green case with Sideways in the bargain bin. I'm like, oh, I guess that movie's no good then, huh? But then I just walked on.
Yeah, but you got to remember, at some point, all movies end up in the bargain bin because you go through there.
Never seen a Scarface in there.
I've seen several Shawshank Redemptions. I've seen quite a few.
I've seen a lot of Adam Sandler 4 movie collections.
Yeah, I mean, they're there. But if you weed through there, there's a Goonies or there's one of those every once in a while. You just got to dig. There's a Last of the Mohicans or some epic movie that's in there, you know. I'm a little dating myself because we're picking a time where movies were people shopped in
on DVD. Yeah,
Last of the Mohicans was in that group. So. But but back to what I was saying, movie critics' job useless. That's my whole point.
And also back to what you were saying, Big Stan, seal of approval.
You know what? It's fine. Don't listen to the critics. Yeah. For a free movie on Tubi for an hour and 49 minutes, it was a pretty good movie.
There was a few of those movies that came out in the 90s that it's like, they're funny. They have a lot of star power, but it almost feels like an afterthought. Like they had a 3-movie deal, and this is the 3rd movie. Another one that's very much like that, is Senseless, starring
the dude from The Hangover, right?
No, it's oh my god,
think of the other movie.
David Spade. There it is, David Spade, and one of the Wayans. I think it's Sean.
Okay,
but
I don't think I've seen that movie.
No. It's the Wayans kid loses his senses. Like he can't smell, he can't taste.
Oh yeah,
he can't...
I kind of remember that. Sorta. See, Spade movies really slipped my.
Spade was in it. I don't remember exactly what. I think he was like the best friend or something. I can't remember that one. But it's one of those largely forgettable movies from the '90s where people are like, "Oh yeah, that was a thing."
Yeah.
There's a few of those in the '80s too, with like what's that ambulance movie that John Candy did? Orderlies?
Yeah. Or Disorderlies? No, that was the Fat Boys.
Oh, that was the Fat Boys, yeah.
Disorderlies.
That might be the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of those that are like, oh, yeah.
That's their name, guys, Fat Boys.
Yeah.
I wasn't being...
Hey, Fat Boys are back.
That's right.
To let you know that it's totally whack. I can't remember the line from that song.
They had a couple movies, if I remember right. There was Disorderlies... And there was another movie too, I think. I feel like there was 2 Fat Boy movies.
That's worth diving into.
in the lexicon of Fat Boy movies. they even surpassed the Jerky Boys.
Right?
But, as far as fame and lexicon.
Oh, the Fat Boys movie.
Oh, it was the Fat Boys movie.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Disorderlies, yep.
Yes.
And the Fat Boys movie, yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. I've seen those movies many a time in my youth.
In my youth.
Speaking of in my ute, I did this interview, and I'm going to do it again for you here in just a little bit. That was my best segue I could come up with. But we're going to play our interview we had with John from Oasis Computers here in just a bit. He joined us to talk tech real good.
He did.
But
that's a Mitch Hedberg bit. He said, somebody showed me a picture and said, this is me when I was younger. I said, every picture is of you when you were younger.
Ain't wrong. Although, I talked about this with you, and now that the more I hear about it, and this was a couple weeks ago, real quick. You said Mitch Hedberg. That's what reminded me of it.
Yes, I did.
There is a whole sect of people that think that what's his name? Jones, the talk show guy.
Oh, Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. That think Alex Jones is actually
Bill Hicks.
That's right, Bill Hicks. Sorry, it was Bill Hicks. I got it mixed up.
But no,
I'm sorry.
that's understandable.
Yeah.
But I heard you mention that last week, and I'm like, I really can't buy it. They don't look similar
and that's just
enough.
it. It's ridiculous. But there is a small but loud group of people that swear that he's Bill Hicks.
It's that same subset of people that thought Paul McCartney died and that he was replaced.
Just because people are loud doesn't make them right. Learn that, younger people.
Society is amazing in that we can create the most whimsical farces and get a segment of society to believe it. Don't believe me? Go to birdsaren'treal.com.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, look at the life we live in. There's so much confusion right now. People are convinced of all kinds of things. I blame David Blaine. Ever since he started levitating, people started thinking you could do all kinds of stuff now.
No, it's that. What's that? What's the other one? The other magician?
David Copperfield?
No, Chris Angel.
Oh,
it's
Mind
his
Freak.
fault.
Yeah.
He freaked all our minds and then bailed.
That's right. Mind Freak.
Darn you, Chris Angel.
Now he's sitting in Vegas hanging out with Carrot Top.
Don't even need an H in your first name.
Would you imagine going to a club and you see Carrot Top and Chris Angel hanging out at a table?
What a country.
Right? Yakov comes in. Yeah. Love it. 8:21, here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape for the next few days. No rain in the forecast for a while, and temperatures stay mild with high pressure over southern Colorado covering our area. Sunny today, a little bit breezy, mid-70s on the high. We're in the mid-30s and clear for the overnight hours, and then lots of sunshine expected on Tuesday, low 70s and sunny, a few more clouds on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 62 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 25% with winds out of the west. This is at 18. Those trees are whipping a little bit out there, a little breezy. Sunday today, expect highs in the upper 70s. 77 today, west winds, say 5 to 10, even though it's higher than that right now. Mostly clear with an overnight low of 41 degrees. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, sunny, 72 for a high tomorrow. Northwest winds 5 to 10. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy, an overnight low of 42 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly cloudy and 73. North winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy Wednesday night with an overnight low of 48. Thursday, sunny and 71. Front, I think, moves in because Friday we're going to be colder. 30% chance of rain on Friday for the afternoon. Mostly sunny, highs only near 60. 30% chance of rain Friday night. Could see a snow mix there as well. I don't know how, but it says. Overnight low of 36. And then for the weekend, sunny and 54 Saturday, sunny and 69 on Sunday. All right, 8:23. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with John from Oasis Computers. That's up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Over the next several weeks, we want to give you 5 key elements to a great marriage. This is taken from an article by Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The first one is ownership, taking responsibility for the good as well as the bad.
1 Corinthians 11:31 says, "Judge yourself so you won't be judged." It's talking about the judgment of God, but it also applies to our relationships, especially the ones that are closest to us, like marriage. If you'll just take responsibility for your own actions, it's so much easier for our spouses not to have to point out and criticize us.
So we have to take responsibility for
And
our
good
actions
morning, it is.
and our reactions, our attitudes, and our mistakes. You know, most people would learn from their mistakes if they weren't so busy denying them.
You aren't responsible for what your spouse does. You are responsible for doing your part. So just decide today to do your part and take ownership.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else. Or the frost might kill it. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
This is Danny Kirkendall at Guy Chevrolet Company in Artesia. We have the best news to share with you this month. It's been a long time coming and we couldn't be more excited. This month, and this month only, you get 1.9% APR for 72 months on all 2024 Chevy Silverado half-tons and select 2024 GMC Sierra half-tons. 1.9 for 72 months, all at the same time. And it's on the trucks that you want. So hurry in today to Guy Chevrolet Company on the corner of 1st and Main in Artesia and at GuyChevy.com.
It's that time again for Central Valley Electric Cooperative's annual meeting. So mark your calendar for Saturday, March 16th. The drive-through meeting will be at the Bulldog Bowl parking lot, and the first 200 registered members will receive a $50 gift card, a goodie bag, and be entered for a chance to win a door prize. CVE is your co-op. Use your power and come vote at the annual meeting. You can drive through anytime between 9 a.m. and noon on Saturday, March 16th. Hope to see you there.
Rosa, have you decided where you're going to college yet?
There's so many choices. I'm still not sure.
Well, I've decided to attend the University of New Mexico. It's the only Research One university in the state. It's the flagship, and their academic programs are among the best in the nation.
The University of New Mexico? Can I still apply?
Of course. UNM is New Mexico's best university, and residents of New Mexico get preference in admission. Apply now, and we'll attend UNM together.
The University of New Mexico, New Mexico's University of Opportunity. Apply today at unm.edu.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The catfish has over 27,000 taste buds. Do you think they prefer fried or blackened? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, now officially, John's back with us with Oasis Computers. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
How's life at Oasis Computers this morning?
This morning, we don't know. I got to go out of town, so whoever's listening, don't show up today. I won't be there.
Today, the office will be closed to take repairs and
back
stuff.
Back tomorrow.
But back in full business hours.
Just need to get out of town for a day.
Good deal. We got to do it. Well, that's kind of the world of a small business owner. Mm-hmm. Especially when you're pretty much the one employee right now.
Yep.
So when you're
not there, nothing happens.
That's right. So but don't worry if you can come on in first thing in the morning tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Get there at 8 o'clock. He'll be ready and waiting for you to take care of you here. But for today, he's going to do radio and then off to hey, go. You a burger fan?
No, not
okay,
necessarily.
I'll say they have a Five Guys in Las Cruces, but if you like burgers, they're pretty good ones.
Probably go up there, pick somebody up, go back.
No sightseeing.
Not really. No.
Oh, well. But for folks not familiar, John joins us each month, and we talk technology, give advice, whether it's hardware, computer issues, or software updates. Mm-hmm. We kind of cover the gamut, all that stuff, and just good advice on your own maintenance with computers and keeping track of your passwords and things like that. That's really half the battle.
It's the whole battle these days.
It's because it's all about recovery now, and everything's attached. So it's not like back in the day when you buy a computer and then you get you have it, and then you get another computer. If you're smart, you copy a hard drive, and because if you got your pictures and stuff. For the most part, you got a new computer, you kind of start it over. You know what I mean?
Yes and no, and that's where the change is coming in.
Yeah.
We start seeing it every day more clearer. The how to put it? What we used to do was get a machine and then, like you said, copy all the files off and fix the machine or sell a new one or whatever, and then make sure the files showed up on the new computer.
Yeah.
Well, it gets more and more that I get the answer, well, I don't care for that. And that's because everything is slowly going online.
It's all going to the cloud, yeah.
And, how do I put that? the fight against Microsoft, I don't want it online, what most customers come in not wanting that, is changing.
That's
and
the way
it
of the world
is
now.
going more and more. If you fight it, I call it you quit swimming upstream.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier if you just go with the flow, or start learning something totally different that has nothing to do with Microsoft.
Yeah.
What for my customers is not really an option.
Well, we're at the point where the internet, cloud-based things, it's no different. We're getting to the point where it's like, sure, you can have a car or whatever, but if you're not willing to use the roads, then what's good to have in the car? You know what I mean? It's kind of...
the technology's changing to tablets and to the phone more and more.
But it's getting to a point where you're going to need to be a part of it because that's the cost of living in society.
Yeah,
today,
if you do computers, you just about have to have a smart cell phone also.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, when somebody loses their account and they manage to have a cell phone set up with it, we can a lot of times retrieve the account by sending the message to the cell phone or possibly another email account. So it looks like having two emails is a good thing because you can send information back and forth if something goes wrong in one of the accounts.
Sure.
Then next is the cell phone is really tied to it for security, two-factor authentication to do something on the phone when you try to get in something. I guess
that's why
a
we
good
can
thing.
never remember our passwords anymore because we don't type in as much because
Right,
we're busy using our face or our thumb or something.
Not having any passwords, but it's kind of a mess right now.
Yeah.
So with all that, if you do a computer, you need to have like a cell phone almost also.
Yeah.
And then, especially if some older people have set it up themselves. So these days, Microsoft sort of forces you to turn your computer into a Microsoft
Yeah, and if you're not
account.
reading all the OKs, the next thing you know, you've just...
No, you can't get past it unless you know how. It's not obvious. You need to know something that's not on the screen.
Right, exactly.
How to do it. So for most, again, of my customers, that's not an option. They don't know. They will end up with some kind of a Microsoft account. Then we'll find it's set up incorrectly. It could have done better. It's not necessarily incorrectly, but, it could have been just done better.
Sure. Little more
Right.
streamlined.
And so the older folks will see the point and put your phone number in here. So they think for a minute and go, I'll put my landline in it because that's a better system. Well, that's no good at all. You come to the store and it's like...
Can't text it, can't do nothing to it, yeah.
If you're lucky, it says text or message to a phone and spoken message. So what is your phone number, whatever it is? And then it's like, do you have it with you? No, it's my home phone. Okay, you can go home and you can wait with the phone. When you come home, call me first. I'll send the text or the message. You'll get a call with the message in it. And then call me back with what the answer is. And then maybe we can open your account up.
Yeah.
So you can see that don't work. And then, landlines don't really do texting.
Mm-mm.
So sometimes you can
phone.
only get a text. So
yeah, you're right. You need that cell phone to just get into anything or do anything or access anything. And I know you mentioned landlines, and so I'm one of those people that I got rid of my landline probably 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And because I haven't had it for so long, I forget people still have landlines sometimes because I just, you know what I mean?
Right.
I forget that because we just don't live in a world
Of
with
course, a
landlines.
landline is not really a landline anymore either.
No, it's internet-based
except for the
too.
last, from the curb to your home. Is
Even here in our office, we use UMA Office. It's all internet-based. It has nothing to do with a phone line.
No, it all goes through the network.
Yeah, exactly. So that's even I mean, I think there's other people that provide home phone service that aren't phone companies, like your cable and TV providers, I think, and that's all again internet-based phone this way.
Right.
So it's not even. It's a cell phone using
the
different
telephone company with the telephone line coming in.
Yeah.
It goes a little down the street and turns into fiber also, and it goes on the network.
Yeah, it's kind of it's I'm going to guess at some point we probably won't see phone lines anymore. It'll all be fiber.
They wanted
and
to
internet.
kick them out. There was an article in it a week or two ago. I read something somewhere that they're working on getting rid of the landline. But like so many things, in a way, it is more reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you got to think about it twice too. The telephone line gets powered by batteries if power goes out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have a whole battery of
Backup
batteries.
systems, yeah.
Yeah, so with as the landline is coming into most people's houses, not the one from cable or from something else,
Mm-hmm.
that those wires are powered, 30 volts or something like that. And if you have just a simple old regular phone, nothing fancy with whatever on it, just one of those cheap phones.
Yeah.
You can make a phone call if there's no power or nothing.
Gotcha.
So that's a benefit. But,
Absolutely.
You know, do you keep that up for that reason? You know.
Well, it's kind of like, every once in a while, a couple times a year, we'll have the ham radio
Mhm.
club on the show here, and to me, for those folks, because of their technology, it works when all else doesn't usually.
Right. But compare that with phone lines,
Yeah.
maybe is they got their own equipment and talk to each other
Yeah.
without any other really infrastructure.
And so I think because of that reliability,
right,
it will never, ever, ever go away.
But
It may not be popular or used very
Right.
often, but there will be people on the planet that still actively do that kind of stuff.
Right, but a phone line needs infrastructure. You need a cable running down
right,
the
where
street,
ham does
whatever.
not. Yeah, it's
I
wires.
think that phone lines indeed will disappear
Yeah.
eventually, as you know, the traditional phone line,
Sure,
a couple
sure.
wire that comes in. But the people that do the radio, whatever, they may hang around for a long time to come.
Well, and
because
they're
that
still-
replaces your phone line. Then, if there's emergency,
And those guys are relevant even today,
Right.
especially places like where we live. Whenever, people go up in the mountains and go camping and
Right.
get lost up there,
Mhm.
guess who they're calling to help part of the communication? It's the ham people.
Right.
Because their cell don't work up there. No, half these radio, but the ham guys, they can
Right.
communicate. So so sometimes the old technology is your best friend.
Right, right.
and ham's usually one of those ones that points that out every time.
Of course, that's changing too. Think of Starlink. Take your computer with you
Exactly.
or whatever and put your little dish up to see the
Yeah,
thing, and you
technology's
have pretty
changing.
much internet anywhere in the world.
We to be honest, pull back the curtain. We have a Starlink for our company. We use it. We've used it a couple times when we go do sports games.
Right,
And we're out in
makes sense.
places like that don't have good internet. Some of these smaller
Right.
towns and things. And the couple times we used it, Starlink worked like a
Yeah.
champ for us.
Yeah, I hear it works real good. I have not had any experience
Yeah.
with it, but
We got one about 6 months ago.
got a couple of people come in that when it came up and they said, "Oh, that's great."
Yeah.
So it's fast and good.
It's good high speed internet,
Mhm.
and it works pretty much everywhere you take it.
Right.
That's the wave of the future. When something is that needed, and then you could literally go to the most remote places of the country or the planet, and in theory have internet. I mean, that's
Right.
kind of a big deal.
Until you get used to it, and then it's normal.
Well,
Just
exactly.
like everything else.
Well, and it's like we were talking about technology and things, and you and I grew up in an era where there's a phone booth on every corner.
Yeah,
and now it's like
when I was a kid, we did not have phones.
Yeah, and there's nowadays, you ask younger generations, and they wouldn't understand that concept of these blue boxes and red boxes, or on every street corner, or you go to the airport and there's a whole row of 20 phones sitting there for people to use. That's all gone away now, and
Changes in technology.
Yeah, shoot. The 80s Superman movie makes no sense because there's no phone booths for Superman to change it to nowadays.
That's right.
Clark Kent had the phone booth, and now Clark Kent don't get no phone booth. So.
Right. So, well, use the cell phone, I guess.
Yeah. Of course, there's the other problem that they don't get to experience, too, is when you get into major cities like New York City, getting in one of those phone booths could be a crapshoot. It could be because sometimes they also served as homeless people's houses, and or a drug. Like a guy's drug corner, basically him taking calls as beeper or whatever.
Like everything else, whatever good use it gets abused to or has bad use.
So you don't deal with that anymore either. You got your own cell. But it's just that's one of those things to me that I literally was a staple growing up, and now is the dodo. It's gone.
Right.
It's gone.
Of course, as a kid, it didn't matter. I could find a phone booth, still couldn't call home. Home didn't have a phone. But we survived anyway.
It wouldn't do any good. Oh, but now I always wonder now, like, do the Amish, because, the Amish, like back in the day, like because they don't have phones and
smoke signals.
Yeah. But usually how they worked it out for like emergencies was the town they lived in had like one payphone that sat on like a phone pole on the outskirts of town. So, in theory, if someone needs a medical issue or something emergency related, or, I think if they need to conduct business,
right,
that they can make the phone call, like if they're selling their furniture or some of their goods, they need to make a phone call to talk with contractors and whatever. I think there's permissions for that. And so now I wonder, is that still a thing, or is there like a town cell phone that sits in the parish somewhere that they do this kind of stuff with?
No idea, and it actually has never crossed my mind.
Yeah, just be curious.
Right, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, but anyway, we got a little off topic there. But, but the point is, we're kidding in this world where you're going to have to accept the fact that if you want to do things on a computer, you're going to have to plug into the internet. You're going to have to do something because. Even to set up a simple email account.
It's just
nowadays.
like what the phone went through.
Yeah.
Phone was invented, and big business and rich people had a phone, and everybody else did not. Then it got more common, but still was relative expensive. But you could afford it. And then it got real commonplace, and now it gets replaced by the cell phone. But if you for a certain time, I imagine. It's just expected that you had a phone at home. You want a job, whatever. We'll let you know. We call you.
Yeah.
And now it's the cell phone. It's just what we find now is it's almost getting to the point you can't run a computer if you don't have a cell phone. It's just getting close to that, depending on what you want to do with it.
Right. We're in our world where you can't live your life without a cell phone. It's getting to the point, especially when we hit the pandemic, where you couldn't even walk into a store and say, here's $5, give me a thing of milk, I'll see you later. You couldn't even really do that anymore. It was all done online, delivery, and you had to have a cell phone, internet access to do all that kind of stuff. And that was the big challenge during COVID, was getting people access to that stuff that normally didn't have access to that.
Yeah,
stuff.
It's amazing how much technology was suddenly used in a different way.
Yeah. And so I think that we were going that way anyway. I think COVID forced our hand a little bit to speed up that.
Yeah, it changed a lot of things. The working from home. Look at all the empty buildings these days.
Sure.
That's becoming a problem.
Sure.
It's a lot of
well, as business owners, there's all business owners, even John, he's a mom and pop business, and he's all about customer service. But at the end of the day, it's about how much money he spends versus how much money he brings in. And that's how a business works. And so businesses found, I can bring in more money and put out less by doing it this way. Maybe that's the model for our business now, and some have gone that way.
Well, it's not, I can't run the store from my home, and that's not allowed, point one. And so certain
it won't work for you.
kind of work needs to have a place of business.
Sure.
But, anybody that comes to work and sits the whole day in front of a computer to give quotes out or whatever, may just as well do that from any other place.
Yeah.
The beach, if you wish to, or
your bedroom, or wherever.
Whatever, yeah.
Exactly, or the coffee shop down the street. But,
and, that's a problem for some people because now the boss has nobody to commandeer around. And
that requires people that are responsible and can be left to their own devices.
Measure by a different standard. I mean, it's not 8 o'clock. Are you here? And then you have 15 minutes off for coffee break or something. No, now you've got to measure, is there productivity? Does the job get done?
There's quotas, there's
Right.
deadlines, things like that.
If somebody wants to work in midnight, if that works for that particular work, and
Long
they
as it-
like that, okay, fine.
As long as it meets the deadlines and the
Right.
parameters of what they got to do, yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just changing world.
Sure, absolutely. And but with that does come that, like
Right.
you said, that and that's then I mean, technology wise, that's a good thing. Because, any way you can make things simpler for society, I think, all in all, that's a good thing. Socially, I don't know if it's the best move because we are human beings and we do need to have human interaction. I think we do have a bit of a disconnect in our society right now because of technology. I think, but I mean, it's not like, but I think this is one of those ancillary bad negative side effects of technology is there's people now that are lacking social skills because they're not in room with people anymore.
But then you can make a point, listen to the song "Look at All the Lonely People."
Yeah.
When did that come out?
Yeah.
There were no cell phones when that came out.
It's true.
And there's still somebody made a song about "Look at All the Lonely People."
Yeah.
So it may be worse though.
Yeah.
You could have
But
put
it's
it
just
worse.
like, it's just one of those things where it's like the protocol of in a meeting and stuff. And you learn that by sitting in a room and being in it sometimes. And sometimes I wonder if some of that gets lost to certain people. But I don't know.
It has all its benefits and drawbacks, I guess.
Yeah.
It's good to meet up every so often with your peers and to see what's going on. But then I just talked to my cousin in Germany again on Friday, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the cell phone these days. And it's like he's right there.
Right.
So...
Yeah, oh yeah, technology and that side of it, and actual communicating. It's just, I guess the one thing I notice is, and I'm not trying to pick on generations here, but it seems like we have a lot of younger people that when you try to have one-on-one conversations with them, it's like pulling teeth. It's like they're offering no back and forth. It's just,
But you're doing it wrong. You need to do one-on-one through the cell phone.
I guess.
Text them while you're sitting right next to him.
I guess maybe that's it. I'm just like, it's like, how's your day? Good. It's like, okay. Good talking to you.
Yeah.
I don't know. And maybe that's my old man, me getting out. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know I've
don't
gotten
forget that as you get older,
Yeah,
you
I
start
know, my
looking at things
perspective.
different.
And that's something I try to remind myself every day is I'm no longer the happening crowd.
My dad had a saying, you would ask why or what, and say, well, you wouldn't understand, but you probably get it when you get my age. But then we still have a problem because when you get my age, I'm so much older again that my life has changed.
Right, it's still
and
a
yours
gap.
has changed. So what I'm saying now, you understand, but what I'm saying in the future, you may still missing it until you have lived through that.
Till you. Well, and it's that's no different than when, when you're raising your kids and the dumb things you did and you're trying to express that to your kids, like, look, don't do this. I did it. It was dumb. Please.
But the thing overlooked is times change.
Yeah.
People that grew up in a different area had to fend for themselves in a different way.
Sure.
They learn the mistake they made, or so as they think the mistake they made. Done it this way would have been better.
Yeah.
And they try to teach that to the kids. But the circumstances have changed, and it may not matter no more. It's kind of like the computers.
Sure.
People keep pushing to do things the way we did it. Microsoft, that most people use, Windows, pushing forward.
Mm-hmm.
And lately I've been saying that within the next 4 or 5 years, we look back to now and before. And you say, yeah, I remember when we did it that way. Wasn't that kind of stupid, or
Yeah.
wasn't that kind of nice, depending how how the future brings?
Sure.
But it is definitely changing how the computer is used and how it's being backed up and whatever. I don't know if I would say, I hate to say it, but it does get better, even though most people at the moment can't see it.
Sure.
I think it'd get a lot better.
And let's face it, that world we're always in a learning curve because the technology moves so fast, and it is, and there's so many cutting edge advances right now in computer science in general. From AI
sometimes you just can't keep up with it. You can't see the forest for the trees.
And that's where I think part of the problem is when you get people, it's like, oh, check out this new technology. I just heard about it. And be like, oh, that's been out for 10 years, and it's actually like second generation technology.
Right,
you know what I mean? And then when you get to our age, we're not so used to that fast change. It's like, I got a phone. I just got this thing. Oh, but you've had it a year. It's already outdated.
Still usable though. So.
Yeah, but there's that mindset of I don't know.
Well, I look at that stuff, does it do the job for me?
Yeah.
And I don't care what somebody else thinks, whatever. But do understand the computers. I say this all the time. If somebody brings in an old computer, wants to fix it up, okay, computer's worthless. It takes you $200 to fix it. You can buy a new machine these days for $250, $300. It's a lot smaller, a lot better, a lot faster. Is it the wise thing to fix the other one? So, if the computer gets about 8 to 10 years old, that's when it starts happening.
Sure.
And the answer is, if it costs you $10, $20 to get it going because of something stupid, yeah, maybe, if you like the machine, if it works for you. But if it don't work and it needs fix, don't fix the old one. Just put the money towards a new one.
Yeah.
But keep using it if it works. I don't care if the machine is 20 years old. If you play solitaire on it, does still the job, and you can stand the CRT that's still on it or something. Fine. Why do you need to change? But what we do run into, it seems like, that people think that what they have is pretty good because when they bought it, it was $2,500 or something like that. So it's pretty good, and it's like, really a piece of junk now. It was good once,
right?
And then if it's slow, and you don't know that it's slow unless you have used something better.
Sure.
If you want to go by Albuquerque by a horse and wagon or something like that, and you've never heard or seen a car,
sure.
Well, that's what you think.
Well, it's no different than if your left arm always hurt, and that's just the way it always is, and that's not normal, then you'd have no idea.
Right.
Same kind of deal.
Right. So, education,
exactly.
Know what you're working with, know what's out there, and then make the right decision.
Absolutely. So, I just saw the time. Probably should be wrapping up here here a little bit. Kind of the lesson here is, when it comes to computer technology, this is where you need to, when something goes wrong, is like you said, measure the cost. Is the juice worth the squeeze here? It's
right.
Unfortunately, computers aren't like cars. Some of these cars don't get classic.
50-year-old car does just fine if it's in good condition and kept up.
And depending on the model, might hold its value or increase.
Right. You can drive that to get the assembly into Albuquerque without any problem.
Yeah. Now, computer will never do that because the technology
the computer,
changes
call the Windows 7, and you can't call your bank up no more or log into your bank because the bank knows what operating system you use, what browser you use, and said, that's unsafe, we don't let you in.
Sure.
Now that may be the same as maybe a horse and wagon. I don't think it's advisable to take your horse and wagon on I-40.
This is true. Yeah, it might not have the best of experiences there.
Probably it's not legal either.
I would imagine too, especially going on interstates.
Right.
Maybe some of them side roads.
A little side road, fine.
Yeah.
See, you use the old technology there with the old technology.
Well, every once in a great while, you'll see a horse going up and down Main Street. But you're right there. And so really, if you are having some computer issues and things, please see John and let him talk to you and say, you know what, I can fix it. But to be honest, I would recommend you invest your money on a new one.
Bring it in. We have a look at it. It's advisable to do before buy a new one. We have people come in that want to buy a new one, and it's really why. You put that solid state drive in it, you got a good machine.
Absolutely. And I think you could build them a computer. You could customize it to do exactly what they want for a very affordable cost there.
Yeah, the problem is that what people want is nothing no more. They need internet. And
right.
any type of computer can do that.
Sure.
There's always this one thing that requires still the Windows, whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't matter.
Well, and again, that's where John will ask you questions. What are you doing with this computer? You're watching a lot of movies on this thing. Okay, then we need to beef up the video card. You playing, or we got a sound card. Are you just doing banking and things? Okay, we don't need to beef up the graphics on here so much.
Biggest problem is still, we keep talking about it, forgotten the passwords, can't get into the account, lose the account. Somebody yesterday lost their account, can't get in.
Yeah, that's the key.
Right.
Write it down. Do whatever you got to do. There's multiple passwords. Some people like them, some don't. It's all preference on some of that stuff. But the more you stay on top of your passwords, the easier your fix will be when something goes wrong.
Really to the point, use a password manager.
Yeah. Even though I know we live in a world where you got 4-digit or 5-digit codes and face things or thumbprints. All of that is attached to a password, and if you don't know that password, that will bite you in the butt one day.
Right. What also brings you to the spot where it says, if you forgot your password, we can email you. What means that the email protection, where nobody can get in it, good password on the email, may be more important than most people think.
Yeah. Because that allows you to reset the password.
Right, because if I can have access to your email because you didn't protect it real well, then I can go to your bank account and say, that doesn't work, let me reset it.
Yep.
And then, of course, have the two-factor authentication on top of it. If I can do that, and if I do get the email, it still may say, push this on your cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have your cell phone in my hand, and I'm stuck.
And then the robber's foiled.
But that part of computing is the real... headache at the moment.
And I know some people complain about it, but to be honest, this is how we fix your identity from being stolen every 5 minutes.
Once you explain why it's not as bad anymore.
Yeah.
We're
at a point, and it's sad, where if you do stuff on the internet, which is pretty much all of us, in some way, shape, or form with banking or anything, odds are not, are you going to get identity theft? It's when are you going to get identity theft?
It's almost to that point.
Yeah,
yes. It's not always your fault.
Yeah, it's you bought something on some very
records get stolen from somewheres that.
How many times you turn on the news and you see Target and Walmart and all these companies,
hospitals, schools,
get hacked into and all that kind of stuff. So it's a deal. So don't come today. But come on by tomorrow. Normally Monday through Friday, 8 to about noon is when he does service working there at the shop, taking customers off the street, things like that.
Right.
The afternoons are reserved for working on the big projects, or if he's got to do a office or house call for networking issues or something like that.
Or by special appointment.
Yeah. Any of that stuff, that's when they handle. So don't hesitate to come by or reach out to John at Oasis Computers. Give out the phone number.
575-625-9141.
Leave a voicemail if you do not get John live. He will call you back if you leave a voicemail. He'll call everyone that says hi to John on the voicemail and gives them a way to get back. Told him he will return your call.
You may call in the afternoon too, especially if it's an emergency. If I'm around, I can most likely help redirect what I'm doing.
And that's something too, and that's the beauty with John too, is he's got his set hours too, but if there's an emergency or something goofy, John's flexible enough to usually, if he's available, he'll take care of it.
If I'm caught up, let me put it that way, it's not too busy, I have opened the door up and put the open sign out in the afternoon because, may just as well pick up if somebody
drive by and say,
right.
Absolutely. But if you've got computer issues, bring them in.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you've got the blue screens of death or error codes, if you can take pictures of that or bring it in its state like that definitely helps John when he starts his investigative process to start looking and knowing where to look and all that good stuff. So, and then of course, if you want new too, don't forget John can help you whether you want to build a custom computer, whether it's laptop or a big PC, or if you need advice or information on the technology needed to kind of cut the cord.
And the technology is becoming inexpensive.
Absolutely.
We've been selling for $280 a whole system that is for most people better than the old one, even though it's the low end now.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't need much no more.
Sure.
So at $280, it's becoming a problem to sell used systems and fix them up.
Yeah. Well, and it's in a world too where it got competitive. I mean, now computers are competing with cell phones, because there's people that are making that decision. Do I want a cell phone or do I want a computer? And they're picking cell phone. You know what I mean? And so their competition's broadened. So
it turns out in most cases you may need both.
Yeah. But it forced computers and things prices to come down.
Right.
Competition. That's where competition's good.
And it's straightening all out. With the COVID, prices seem to have stabilized.
We're starting to get a steady supply of inventory.
We can seem to get what we want instead of take what we can get.
Or wait months for something that you're hoping
it's getting better.
So, yeah. Well, good deal. Well, John, as always, safe travels today, and we'll see you next time here. And
okay.
And if there's anything we can do, give us a holler.
Very good.
All right. Thank you, John. All right, it is 7:55. Let's pause for news, your Kim Commando update, and also we'll get your Chaves County Sports Report brought to you by DSI.
Now, on this Super Tuesday Eve, the U.S. Supreme Court has handed Donald Trump a major legal victory as he runs for re-election.
In a unanimous ruling, the High Court said Trump could not be removed from the ballot in Colorado. The justices ruled that states, without action first from Congress, cannot use the Constitution's insurrection clause to keep presidential candidates from appearing on ballots. As a result, the court's move ends efforts in Colorado, Illinois, Maine, and elsewhere to disqualify Trump and kick him off the ballot. On social media, the former president issued a 4-word statement: "Big win for America." Greg Clugston, Washington.
Nikki Haley celebrating a victory in the Republican primary in heavily Democrat Washington, D.C., picking up 19 delegates. Former President Trump, who now calls Haley Queen of the Swamp, has 244 delegates heading into the Super Tuesday contests. Well, it's not a beach getaway this time. Today, President Biden is in the mountains. He's at the Camp David Presidential Retreat with no events on his calendar. A new poll documents voter concern over the 81-year-old Biden's ability to handle the presidency.
What it found regarding the 81-year-old Biden is that 6 in 10 say they don't have a lot of confidence about his mental capability. That's important because in January of 2022, only half said they had those concerns. So we've seen an increase in the past 2 years. Most importantly, we've seen that increase after the release of a special counsel's report saying that there were memory issues for President Biden.
Correspondent Josh Boak says this is an AP NORC poll. No breakthroughs to report today in the Gaza ceasefire talks taking place in Egypt. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow is down 92 points, NASDAQ off 23. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
An explosion of violence over the weekend in Haiti. Armed gangs attacked 2 major prisons, releasing thousands of violent criminals.
In Haiti's capital, gangs are gaining strength, and Prime Minister Ariel Henry is abroad trying to gather support from a UN-backed security force to stabilize the country. A prison worker reported that out of over 4,000 inmates, less than 100 remain behind bars and pleaded for their safety. In the absence of official information, family members of some convicts rushed to the prison to check on loved ones.
The BBC's Rika Ann Garcia. 4 people dead, at least 21 injured, a fire in a retirement home in western Germany. The German news agency DPA reports a firefighter and a police officer were also injured and are hospitalized. In addition to those confirmed as injured, 46 other residents were evacuated and are being examined for potential injuries. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. It is a monumental job on the fire-ravaged Hawaiian island of Lahaina, the job of cleanup in the wake of the devastating and deadly wildfires. And researchers have major environmental concerns amid
piles of toxic debris. They don't know how chemicals and metals from burned plastics, lead paint, and lithium-ion batteries will affect delicate reef ecosystems, but research now underway by the University of Hawaii could provide the community a sense of how the ocean is weathering the disaster. They placed 20 sensors off West Maui that measure temperature, salinity, oxygen, turbidity, and chlorophyll every 5 minutes.
Correspondent Julie Walker. A group of men in masks opened fire at an outdoor party in Central California last evening, killing 4 people, injuring 3 others. This happened in King City, California, and the attackers managed to get away. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Monday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Hope your Monday's going amazingly well. Got, it's Monday.
Yeah. I learned a valuable lesson this weekend.
Did you?
I did.
Uh-huh.
I learned why children are not allowed to drive.
The
obvious reasons they can't reach the pedals and all that. We were at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And, just getting a few things. I needed to get, some new shorts for a potential visit to the pool sometime this week if they actually open back up, because they're closed for maintenance update. But whilst at the store, Rhiannon, she decided that she wanted to push the cart.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, fine. But I said, Rhiannon, you need to watch where you're going, okay?
Right.
Because, of course, Hunter wants to help, too, and then they get all, competition-y. So I'm like, okay, fine, but I'm going to lead, so I'm going to walk in front of the cart. Not 2 steps later, I got Kill Bill. Like, straight Achilles tendon, just right, like, back, front of the shopping cart, right into my Achilles tendon. Ooh. I almost went down, dude. It was hard.
They got you, huh?
So I turn around, I'm like, watch where you're going. Most of the rest of the trip was fine. Until we get to the back, because we had to go to the where the soaps and whatnot are to get a few things.
Right.
Rhiannon's pushing. I'm trying to kind of guide in the front. And I was slightly not paying attention to where she was pushing. Next thing I know, we head straight into the end cap or the mid cap, whatever you call it, of Keystone Light 30 packs.
Oh.
And they just toppled.
Oh.
So there was stones everywhere. And of course, me and a couple other moms were scrambling to pick them all up and set them up here. And, people were making jokes. We haven't even started drinking yet. But it was a harrowing journey. So needless to say, I pushed the cart for the rest of the trip.
I was wondering, when we start carts, I was like, all right, what's the item that's going to be sprawled all over the floor? Fruits? something stacked. I don't know what it is, but it was Keystone Light.
Remarkably, not a single one burst.
Really?
Not a single one.
Hey.
It was a dry spill.
Tip of the cap to Big Can for making a good can.
Hey, we see a Keystone. Way to thicken up your game. No, they figure, thicker cans, put less alcohol in it. It makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so.
With shrinkflation.
That's right. That's all right.
They're going to advertise it as something good for you. Now with the new ultra thick cans.
Yeah, of course, if you're buying copious amounts of Keystone, I don't think you're very picky on your beverages of choice.
Very
anyway.
true. I was like, dang, Rhiannon, you could have crashed into a better beer.
Right. Get the Guinness cart over there.
I was like, I'm going to be on the hook for 3 30-packs of Keystone.
It's going to cost me dozens of dollars.
This is going to make the people at my bank double take.
That's right.
Again.
He spent $10 in Keystone. $10?
That's like 7 cases.
That's like 8 kegs.
Yeah. And of course, I had that bitter beer face going through my head.
Well, so maybe I've always found that when you let others drive the cart, to be behind them.
Well,
That's generally been my safer spot.
Except for Rhiannon didn't know where she was going. So I sort of had to be like I'll keep a finger on it and direct it kind of thing. So I really did put myself in harm's way. It may have been more my fault than I'm letting on, but she was the one who was behind the wheels, so she's the one who the insurance company is going to come after.
Well, wait till they get up to the hover rounds or whatever they call those little motorized carts.
Right.
Those things. I say I've dealt enough with those things because of family members and needing them and shopping and the embarrassment of my wife driving across the Walmart parking lot in one of those things to bring it to Dada. And that's the moment. Hi, Mrs. Hi, welcome to the... everyone and their uncle recognizes my wife, the teacher.
Yeah.
When she's diddy-bopping through the parking lot on that motorized cart.
I don't care if I get Lieutenant Dan. You're not going to catch me in a Mart cart.
Yeah.
Now, back in my heyday, when I was just a wee lad, me and my buddy would race him through Kmart.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
But nowadays, sorry... you can take my legs. I will pull my way through that store.
I've ridden one. I've drove one.
Oh, I have too.
I had to drive them to get to people that needed them.
Right.
So I've had to. So I'm just. How you doing?
Here's a pro tip.
Chilly out, isn't it?
Carry with you all times a yellow safety vest. So it just looks like you're the employee taking the thing back in.
This is my job. That's what I do.
No, they usually hire guys my age with this kind of hat to take carts in.
That's right. And for his customer service is awful. He deals with some rude stuff. But.
I think he wished cancer on me at some point.
Well, was the cart in proper operating condition?
Yeah, it was actually a good one.
Okay, because
like
that's the other thing is maybe she hasn't felt the thing of the copious amounts of mop strings stuck in the back wheel of the cart to prevent it from turning or going.
This is one of my favorite parts about going to a place like the Walmart is the test drive range, where like you'll see like several different groups of people just taking a cart out, seeing if it pushes, checking if it turns, like really, giving it the once over.
Kicking the tires,
taking it for a test run.
Right.
So I'm one of those people though. I will, meticulously pick out my cart.
I'm semi that way. I will tell you this right now. Mm-hmm. If you walk in and then there's the stacks of carts and there's 1 or 2 loose carts there, I will never touch the loose carts.
It's, you know what it is?
Because those are defective carts that someone else said, this ain't no good, and just leave it there.
It's like the display apples. People are like, oh, I'm not going to eat those. People have been breathing on touch. But I present a counter argument, sir, that those carts might actually be the best ones out there because those are the ones that are most recently used. If they're facing this way, when the carts are this way, that means that's a used cart.
It could go either way because I've had both experiences by doing this. But as a rule of thumb, I've found 9 times out of 10, it's the cattywampus cart.
It's literally the don't get that one, go a few rows back and get the gallon of milk in the back.
Yeah. And
carts.
Since we're talking this, then we got to wrap it. Mm-hmm. But when you get there and you go to pull your cart free from the stack of carts, what's your modicum of effort before you give up and move on to the next stack?
I will check to see if somebody took the seatbelt and tied it around another thing.
Yeah.
And to see if it's like rigged.
Yeah.
And then I'll give up. Otherwise, it's sword in the stone for me. I'm like, I'm going to get you. You might not even be the one for me, but I'm going to get you.
Right. I will, come hell or high water, take this cart around the store today.
That's right.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah, I was
it's
just
even
curious because I don't know. Because part of me says, I shouldn't let it defeat me. But part of me says, hey, idiot, there's 20 people watching you struggle with this thing. Just grab the one next to you and move on about your day.
But there's the other part of me that's like, I am a man.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I must complete this task.
We do have that little DNA code in our brains.
I will not let you defeat me.
It is slightly caveman that will have us do these things.
Mm-hmm.
And but sometimes it's not the caveman you want, but it is the caveman you
It's true.
need.
It is true that what separates us from Neanderthals is we figured out how to move on.
Some of us.
If a task is not worth doing, a lot of us figured out how to move on.
Yeah,
and the rest of us are still trying to get that card out.
Some are still there working it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather and all that here in just a few minutes. Then we're going to have a couple of ladies from Sanders Law Firm join us here. Gabby and Taylor will join us. They've got a free legal fair that's going to be happening here this Friday, March 8th. And it's going to be at the Roswell Adult Center on Missouri there. So they're going to, if you're needing legal advice, legal help, things like that, this will be the place you want to be on Friday. So.
Have fun activities like bobbing for manila folders. Trying to think what else would be
that should
legal
be
fair.
I would like, while people are waiting for their sage legal advice, do things like paperclip chain.
Yeah.
Various office related skill sets.
Crafty.
I kind of like
work.
that as while you're in between. It's like, all right, we're going to play how many alligator clips can you get on your arm?
I wish I knew anything legal at this point.
Right? It's like, I don't know, buy, sell. But I need more time. So, sorry, the computer asked me a question. I can't answer it.
Hate that.
But
yes, sage legal advice waiting for you.
Yeah, so they'll join us here in just a bit. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show.
Yes, indeed.
Man, this weather, it was like nice, and now it's all hazy and
it's supposed to be a little windy today. Mix of clouds and sun from what I saw on my
it's supposed to be like
app.
77, 78 today.
But yeah, this is basically the Roswell.
Yeah.
This is what it's been for the last week.
Temp's nice. It's just, I don't know, it feels a little like it's gonna rain, but it ain't gonna rain.
Every day it's like opening a new package. When you come out that front door, you're like, what's gonna be waiting for me?
A different package of ramen every day. Is that shrimp?
Sometimes it's a little soupy.
That's right. See, that's I need more time. It gives me approximately 37 seconds of more time, and then it goes away.
I need a little more time than that.
That's right.
Dang it.
Picky much. All right, it is 9:16. Let's get you up to date on the weather before my computer decides it needs to change it.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape for the next few days. No rain in the forecast for a while, and temperatures stay mild with high pressure over southern Colorado covering our area. Sunny today, a little bit breezy, mid-70s on the high. We're in the mid-30s and clear for the overnight hours, and then lots of sunshine expected on Tuesday, low 70s and sunny, a few more clouds on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, get my weather up. Being ornery. There it goes. Currently 62 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 25%. Winds out of the west at 8 miles per hour. Sunny today, mid to upper 70s. 77 are high today with west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear for tonight. Looking at an overnight low of 41 degrees with west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, sunny and 72 for a high. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 42 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, partly cloudy, 73. North winds 5 to 10. Thursday, mostly sunny and 71. And then it looks like Thursday night into Friday, we've got a front moving in because temps will drop Friday with rain chances, believe it or not. A 30% chance of rain Friday. Mostly sunny, highs near 60. Friday night, we're looking at a 30% chance, mainly before midnight, of rain. Could see some of that changing over to snow. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 36. And then 54 and sunny for your Saturday. Back up near 70, sunny and 69 for Sunday. All right, it is 9:18. We're going to take a quick, about 2-minute break, and then we'll talk with the folks from the Sanders Law Firm here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Are you or a loved one having a hard time getting to your medical appointments? At Artesia General Hospital, we believe that transportation should never be a barrier to good health. That's why we're excited to announce our new non-emergency medical transportation services. Each of our vans is wheelchair accessible, and our friendly certified drivers go the extra mile by meeting you at your doorstep and ensuring a comfortable ride to your Artesia General Hospital services. Rides are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Schedule your ride today by visiting artesiageneral.com/transportation or calling 575-736-8211.
Get your tickets now for Red Zone Presents A Night with Jason Witten, coming to Artesia Saturday, April 13th. Jason Witten is an 11-time Pro Bowl selection and 2-time NFL All-Pro with the Dallas Cowboys and is currently head coach at Liberty Christian High School in Argyle, Texas. Jason is one of sports' top leaders on and off the field. Tickets are free, but you must have a ticket to enter. To get your free tickets, contact the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. This invitation courtesy of H.F. Sinclair. Excited about Jason Witten coming to Artesia.
If you're a service member, veteran,
or family member who's feeling alone,
whether you're in crisis or not,
don't remain silent and suffer alone.
There is help out there.
Talk to someone you can trust.
Free confidential support is available 24/7 through the Veterans Crisis Line. Just text or call 988 and press 1 for veterans. Talking to someone about suicide won't increase the risk of suicide. It could save a life. Brought to you by the New Mexico Department of Veterans Services, the Department of Health, and this station.
Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and I want to tell you about our store-wide sale happening now. All items in every department are on sale. Upgrade your living space with power reclining sofas and love seats or beautiful sectionals with charging ports. Create ambience with amazing table and floor lamps. Get that long-awaited restful night's sleep with the new Serta mattress. Every department is on sale from our existing prices, so come down to Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
True statement. Good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Sanders Law Firm, we have Gabby Miller and Taylor Jaggers joining us this morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are y'all doing today?
Good. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. So, as attorneys, does this because I don't know, is Monday like a crazy day generally in the attorney world, or is it a quieter day? Like as far as court load and cases and all, is it? Because I think Monday is usually a busy day at court, isn't it, right?
It is.
So,
yes.
so y'all get... So
yeah.
y'all getting out of some work today? So just kind of for a little bit?
Yeah, come hang out with you.
There you go. Sorry, we shouldn't have better snacks. But yes, both ladies are attorneys from the Sanders Law Firm. And coming up this Friday, March 8th, they're having a free legal fair, basically. And it's at the Adult Center. And this is really an opportunity for people that need legal advice on many facets. Family law, probably criminal law.
So if they want to come and they have questions or they need forms, there's going to be a handful of attorneys there that will answer questions. We'll talk to you individually.
Yeah.
It's free of charge.
And really kind of talk with you about your situation and determine, oh, you know what? We just fill out a couple forms and this is good to go. Or, you know what? No, you need an attorney to represent you and you need them to do things regarding this case to help you out here. So, obviously every case is completely different on that kind of stuff. And I imagine too, as attorneys, you get to a point where people may sometimes need an attorney, but may feel apprehensive to come talk because either do I need an attorney? It's simple, especially if it's a family thing or something that involving people Sometimes they want to work around it, and sometimes that's okay. But a lot of times, more damage can be done than good sometimes if you don't have the professionals, looking and telling you exactly what you can and cannot do.
Yes.
Especially in the legal world.
We're looking forward to it. Travis County hasn't done it since pre-COVID.
Okay.
So we are looking to get back into it and help the community answer.
And this is done by, and Sanders Law Firm's kind of partnered with it, but this is all put together by the Chaves County, what is it? The Chaves County legal, I don't know the official term of it here.
Yes, it's the Chaves County Pro Bono Committee.
Pro Bono Committee, thank you.
The legal aid for the state, they're also
Gotcha. So they're helping with cases and things that are more, obviously if you need help, obviously cases that are more, bigger, but sometimes the clients don't have the money to pay for the legal representation they truly need for this case. So this organization comes in and says, hey, we can help with our pool of attorneys and things that are willing to kind of help you out, work pro bono. And I'm guessing it's a win for everybody, because obviously these clients get good, sage legal advice, but at the same time, attorneys get experience.
Right. And we're going to be there with forms too. So if a lot of times people just have questions on, I don't know what paper to file or what document I need. And so we will be providing forms for divorce, probate, guardianships, different types of forms that are most commonly used that people might have questions about.
Is it strictly just like personal legal issues, or say if someone wants to start a business or something and they want to know like about LLCs and partnerships, is that part of this too, or should they talk to someone else about that?
So we kind of have a few different areas of law that we think we're going to be able to serve on Friday. So divorce and custody, visitation, child support, spousal support, paternity, kinship guardianship, landlord, tenant, creditor, debtor, wills and probate, powers of attorney, employment, unemployment benefits, contracts that would fall under there, and then immigration.
So a little bit of everything there. Yes. Pretty much a kind of the most common areas where people need legal help in some way, shape, or form. This is covered there.
Yes.
And trust me, if you're one of those folks that's been kind of on the fence whether I need an attorney or not, go to the event on Friday, talk to one of the many attorneys that will be there to give you advice, and they can tell you, you know what, these forms right here will take care of what you're trying to do, or you know what, let's set up a time and consult, and let's dive into your case a little bit. It's going to require a little bit more than a few forms.
Yes, for sure.
And the New Mexico courts actually put out standard forms for folks to use, like the self-help forms. And so that's what we'll have, just be using the standardized forms from the courts.
And so even familiarizing with that, if you're not familiar with that kind of stuff, and they can help you navigate through that. It's like, oh, I've seen the forms, but I don't really know what I'm supposed to fill out, not supposed to fill out. And of course, all the attorneys can sit there. And the best part, this is all free of charge.
Yes.
These are all attorneys from all over the county that have donated time to sit down and help you through your particular instance there. So please take advantage of this. A trip Friday afternoon out to the adult center might just be the thing that makes your life a whole lot easier. So about how many attorneys do you guys know are going to be? Is it like, are we going to see, is it, imagine quite a bit depending on how many people, because I imagine this gets pretty busy, events like this. I mean, when a lot of us have legal problems and a lot of us don't know what to do about them. And so
there's going to be about 10 attorneys.
Good.
And I think in the past there's been, upwards of 100 or anywhere between 100 and 200 people show up for this. And so we're looking forward to take the time to speak to people and help them with
just navigate,
with their legal problems.
Ease your concerns, or let's help you address them one way or the other. We're going to get that done. But so mark it on your calendars. This Friday, March 8th. I know time's creeping up on it. This Friday, it will be at the Adult Center, which is located at 807 North Missouri. The event is from 1 to 4 p.m. So it'll be pretty much Friday afternoon. It's a first come, first serve type deal. So if you anticipate you're going to need a lot of time, maybe get there towards 1 rather than 4 o'clock. Just plot a little accordingly if you think what you're going to need might take a few minutes of talking about and things like that. And please, I'm guessing any documentation, anything you have concerning your case, bring it with you so the attorneys can look at that. And, because sometimes, and I'm sure as attorneys, you come across this a lot, what people say they have and what they actually have sometimes aren't the same, even though they think it is, but it isn't. So bring the documents, bring everything regarding your legal issue with you so you can give the attorneys some leads to kind of dig through it. And, because at the end of the day, your attorneys in some of these cases are just like investigators or, like a detective solving a crime here. They're or solving a case. They're basically taking the information and trying to find a way for you to navigate through it. And so they're turning over the leaf, but this form's not done correctly. That's going to give you an out for this because they didn't give you notice here. And this is where the expert of a lawyer comes.
Mm-hmm. And if people, if you start thinking about it now, it's Friday. So write down your questions or write down notes. And the more time you think about it, because you get nervous sometimes when people come and speak to us.
Absolutely.
They get nervous.
Intimidated.
So write down your questions, make notes, and we'll be happy to help. And so will all the other attorneys there.
Yeah.
So.
And I find that generally attorneys, especially ones that like to volunteer their time to do these kinds of things, are generally, to a person, very good at making the complicated simple. Because that's a lot of times, especially in the legal world, when you start getting in there, you get to where this is overwhelming. I don't understand what everything they're telling me right now. And that creates a level of fear of apprehension right there. And that's where, when you go in there, trust me, all these attorneys have experienced that and know exactly the shoes you're wearing. So they will be happy to talk to you and explain even the most complicated things to something that you can at least wrap your head around or understand what they're trying to do at this particular moment. So I know that can get me intimidating because when you don't know that stuff and you're like, oh, dude, and then sometimes you're afraid to ask or feel like you should know, but you don't know, and that creates a whole nother problem. So please just come hat in hand, and if no questions too dumb on this stuff,
right.
Ask it and let the attorneys give you the proper answers for these kind of things. So, but take advantage of it if you're dealing with divorce, if you're dealing with any kind of
anything,
just estate planning. If you want to do wills and do just because you're in your 20s and young doesn't mean you shouldn't be thinking about wills. Maybe you should go to this event and talk to attorneys about setting up wills, especially if you have a spouse or a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as that happens, you are suddenly beholden to someone, which means you need to make sure they're taken care of. So, yeah, and I get it. I know when you're 22 and got the world in front of you, last thing you're thinking about is your will or estate planning or any of that kind of stuff. You're indestructible and young and dumb. We all are at 22. Get the people that get ahead on these kinds of things really make out. So please talk to the attorneys. If you're a young family and you don't have wills or anything set up, come to the event on Friday. Tell them, certainly, and unfortunately, and I'm going to get in another angle here. I know I'm rambling, but and especially in this type of legal help, there's a lot of stuff on the internet that is not really beneficial to you if you do not know what you're doing.
Yes.
And wills are one of those areas where people get screwed all the time because they think they did it right through some online service. And turns out that their state doesn't cover some of those things. And New Mexico is a unique state with some of those laws. Some of the laws and stuff that this state recognizes when it comes to that kind of thing, wills and all that, it's a little different than other states in the country. So that stuff doesn't apply. Hence, you need to talk to attorneys here in New Mexico that actually practice New Mexico law, that know the difference between what you can do in Texas and what you can do in the state of New Mexico. So please understand that.
And like you said, anybody who has a spouse or a child, nobody wants to think about that, right? And to take the time to do that.
It's not exactly
paperwork.
Happy time. All right, kids, let's talk about what happens when I died. It's not.
But it's really just a gift that you're giving them, right? So it's one less thing they have to worry about, and everything's taken care of.
Absolutely.
And that's the way to think about it.
Yeah.
So.
And then my next piece of advice would be anytime you have a life-changing event, buy a house, buy a major purchase, add a person to the family. That's when you need to address and look at that will. Because don't make a will at 22 and then forget about it till you're 70, because you're probably going to have a bad will. Just
Life
saying.
changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to update it with the times. Hopefully, as you're getting older, you're progressing in life and earning more money and getting bigger and better things, and the family's growing. That's the point of life. So by the time you're 70, you should have a lot more than when you had your 22, in theory.
Yeah, and like you said, also with businesses, if someone's looking to create a contract or just simple questions. I mean,
Sure.
it can be very general things that we are happy to help, and please take advantage of this
Absolutely.
time.
One of the things and this is from my perspective as a guy that does radio and advertising and marketing and things like that, one of the things that we come across a lot, and especially with mom and pop businesses and things, and is their business, how their business is set up, if their business is set up as an LLC, you guys know you have to advertise that and everything. When they advertise out that they're a business, they have to tell people they're an LLC. And a lot of times they won't want to put that in their commercials and things. And I'm like, you don't realize I got to say at least once in there. I mean, I can say Bob's Auto Parts 10 times in there, but one of the times I got to say Bob's Auto Parts LLC, because if you don't advertise you're an LLC, that could bite you in the butt if you need the protections of the LLC later down the road. And that's the kind of stuff, that's why you need to talk to an attorney. So you know, when you sign up for these things, you know exactly what you're responsible for and what you're not responsible for. Because if you don't do it right, the things that you think you're protected from, you're not protected from. So, you know, don't hesitate to talk. Like if you're getting to start a business and you're thinking about all that stuff, come to the event, get at least a cursory understanding of some of this from the attorneys, and then you can go about getting whatever paperwork or whatever procedures you need to do to get that
And
stuff.
if people aren't able to make it to this event, we're going to have another one in October. So this may be short notice for some people who can't take off work, but we will have another one in October that will be the same setup.
Excellent. So anybody planning to get in any legal trouble this summer, come out. And, I'm just kidding.
Give us a call.
But absolutely. Of course, if you shoot an email to legalclinics@nmlegalaid.com, if you have questions about the event, that's a good resource. I have a phone number, too. Tell me if this is right. 877-266-9861. If you have any questions about the event or anything regarding this, who knows? Maybe you're an attorney listening and said, shoot, I'd like to help out. Maybe there's still room for you to sit at a table up there.
Yes.
You know, I'm sure they'd love to have more attorneys because more hands make less work. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
And we will have Spanish-speaking attorneys.
Okay,
and staff.
so bilingual as well. So
Yes.
if English is not your first language, or you don't feel comfortable, especially talking about complex legal things in a language that's not native to you, they will have folks that can speak Spanish as well. If you got Portuguese or French or Russian, we'll have to pull some strings. But we got you covered in Spanish. And then, of course, come and see what this is about. You know, I would even throw another one out there. If there's young people out there that are aspiring to be attorneys and stuff, you got a whole room full of people that are attorneys. You want to pick their brain a little bit about the job and what it's like and all that. I'm sure, you know, obviously if they're not busy, you know, handling a caseload or a client right at that moment, they'd probably love to talk to you a little bit.
For sure. Come ask us questions. I mean, we've all been through it, and we all got here by mentors asking questions, and there's not a dumb question to ask.
Yeah, she was curious, how long have you ladies been attorneys?
Go ahead.
So I've been an attorney 8 years now.
8 years now? Okay, for you?
This is my 5th year.
5th year. Okay.
Yes.
So between 5 and 10 years in, just curious. Now that you're, got years of experience under your belt, is it what you expected it to be when you were in college and kind of getting your degree and passing the bar, and like what you thought of the job then versus 5-10 years into the job now? Is it different, the same, and if so, how so? I'm just curious.
That's a loaded question.
She was curious. I'm just I just love to hear people's perspectives about this stuff.
Parts of it are the same. And everybody gets into law for multiple reasons, but at the end of the day, if you don't want to help people, then it's not the job for you.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's really what we're doing, right?
Sure.
And
I think also law school might not prepare you exactly for what we do on a daily basis, but the good thing about what we do, and I feel like it's good for young people, even in high school, or if you're aspiring to be an attorney, go get an internship. Go work alongside someone or get a mentor. Ask those questions.
Go be in the room and see what's going on.
Yeah, be a runner. I mean, I started out as a runner, and this was all I wanted to do. And I went to college and I went to law school, and now I'm back. But I know it from the ground up.
Well, I imagine that was so important for you because let's face it, when you commit to becoming a lawyer, it's not like, you know what I mean? It's a big commitment. It's 8+ years of training and all of that. And that's a lot of stuff to do to find out, I don't like this after all is said and done.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
If you can shadow an attorney, especially if you're in high school, it's a great way to see what it's really like day in and day out before you embark on your
and
7 years
just because
and
you
your bar
don't
exam.
like one if you don't like, if you don't like divorce, okay, well, there's employment. There's so many other things. I would never say try one thing and give up on it.
Sure.
There's so many facets to law that
absolutely
it's endless.
I think most of us, when we think of lawyer, we think of, Law and Order and the guy or gal on TV
Judge Judy
cracks the case in an hour. You know what I mean? And sure, there is a aspect of lawyering that's somewhat like that, not like the TV show where they wrap it up in an hour and the magic mystery piece of evidence just falls into the lap of somebody at the last minute or whatever happens. That's fantasy. But there's trial attorneys and they do court cases and things, but there are so many lawyers that their expertise in law never puts them in a courtroom. Correct. Never arguing a case. Mm-hmm. They're the researchers. They're the ones digging through the books. They're the ones that are really doing the work to determine whether something is constitutional or not. That's kind of what they're doing. And it's in various things. It could be, like you said, if you're not into divorce, these people may be into contract law, and they don't see people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be, it could be. So personalities. Like if you're a people person, maybe you do want to do the more where you're dealing with clients in trial. But if that's not your forte, but you love the legal mind and stuff, maybe you're the one should go towards the research side of things or the precedent.
And writing. I mean, some people just love to write and
be
research.
the intellectual side of law.
Yeah.
And absolutely, because that's where a lot of precedent is set too. And to be honest, I don't get way off, but to me, law, for something that's so black and white, because at the end of the day, a law is a law. It's either legal or illegal to do what this law says you can't do. But there's so much gray area on that, and that's where I think the legal debates, and that's where where these experts in law, even though they don't sit in a courtroom and argue cases, they're the ones that determine, is this the right thing to do? Should we be prosecuting for this? Should we? And they're the ones that are theorizing and looking at evidence and looking at case history and saying, this is something the law should stay away from, or this is something the law needs to be more involved with. But that's the attorney side of the world too. So if that's more your cup of tea, then it starts somewhere. It starts getting your education, start shadowing these attorneys, and start learning the little bit. I know we talk to the folks from the DA's office each month there, and kind of learn from their perspective how the sausage is made. And I don't know if you guys have prosecution experience, but it's a different animal than the defense side too, and different passions and different reasons for doing it and things like that. And they get a little, like on their side, they get the little tougher side of keeping people, I'm thinking, prosecution, because that's a place where a lot of attorneys go to learn experience, to get good at their jobs. And let's face it, no district attorney in the office in the country is going to pay you the kind of money that some private firms are going to pay you. That's just the way the world is, And so I imagine the biggest thing they deal with sometimes is when they get good lawyers, they get gobbled up by firms and things.
And I will say Travis County does have a really good community of attorneys. Mm-hmm. Even the neighboring counties, we all work really well together. It's good that we're able to pick up the phones. We have the best judges in the state. We really do. And
I imagine that's an advantage to being, yes, we're Roswell City and all that, but we're a small town.
Yes.
And so that helps a little bit because y'all know other attorneys. And let's face it, many court cases are happened between the lawyers talking about what they're willing to do for each other. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that's how it gets solved, not with a jury trial and the full-on episode of Law and Order and all that stuff. That is a rarity, not the commonplace. And so a lot that statement you just said about that relationship, people know each other, and even if they disagree, they still work together because we all have the same common goal of upholding the law. And that's really what every single attorney is. Yes, a defense attorney's job is to get their client off or get their sentence reduced or whatever. But at the end of the day, they do it legally. They do it through what the law says they can and cannot do. And that's that's the common thread. But whether a defense attorney or a prosecuting attorney, they all have that passion for the law, or they wouldn't be there to begin with. So I think that's where they put that aside. And that's where, we just argued back and forth in a case for 3 days, tooth and nail, but we'll go out afterwards and have a cup of coffee and maybe talk about our comparable client list here and see what else we can work out.
Yes.
That's just what lawyers do. And I imagine it's a little bit easier in a town where you don't have 7,000 lawyers because we don't live in a city of 2 million people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, our kids are a lot of times on the same sports team, or, we see clients in public and opposing parties and stuff. And so really it's just good to have relationships with other attorneys, because I believe it shows the clients good relationships.
Absolutely. Well,
it lessens the tension a lot of the times.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is every lawyer, I mean, we can all argue, this person's great, this person, everyone's going to have their opinions about people. But I would argue every person that's in your shoes is this law's first. You don't go through the amount of education and training and experience that an attorney goes through to just up and stop doing it or not caring about it. You know what I mean? These are all passionate people, and whether they're fighting tooth and nail for their client or, which most are, that's what they're doing. It's that passion for law, and that's where all of the stuff you see on TV gets put aside. All the
Sure.
the petty garbage and the stuff that makes great for a good drama at 9:00 at night on a Thursday night. It doesn't work that way in the courtroom, because there's actual adults in the room that actually talk to each other like adults and have working relationships. And just because we're not on the same side doesn't mean we don't work hand in hand to get this issue resolved, because both sides of attorneys want this resolved just as much as the judge, the victim, and the person accused. That's all want this done and over with in the best outcome possible. And at the end of the day, that's what the attorneys are trying to do.
Right.
Is get the resolution to something that is amenable for everybody here. So, if you go in that mindset, then you can understand how attorneys work a little better and all that good stuff. But again, bringing you back in, come on out Friday. I tend to get off the rails here. That's what I do. But I don't get lawyers in very often, so I like to pick your brain. But come on out. Again, it's going to be the legal clinic, that free legal clinic, this Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Roswell Adult Center, 807 North Missouri. While you're there, by the way, if you're looking for other stuff to do, they've kind of really ramped up the program now that we're post-COVID and everything. The Adult Center's hopping again. So I know COVID kind of killed it, and that was kind of the place where everyone came to do anything from lapidary to play cards to, have meet and greets. Well, they're back. They've got, if you go to the city's website, the city Roswell Connect, their recreation website, there's one tab there for the Adult Center. And I'm telling you, that calendar is chocked full of events every single day. If you want to play cards with folks, or if you want to learn some arts and crafts, or if you want computer skills, or dare I say there might even be some free legal stuff in there every once in a while, some popping in from time to time. There is a slew of stuff there. So while you're at the Adult Center on Friday, get you the calendar and plot and plan your next month of activities. So too there. So maybe kill two birds. Get your legal problem solved and find out what you're doing next week.
There you go.
Excellent. If anybody has any questions or need legal advice too, of course, you guys represent the Sanders Law Firm, and at the Sanders Law Firm, you guys cover pretty much all facets of law, right? From criminal to family law to
civil
property, contract,
water,
all
anything.
the above.
Social Security, disability.
Yeah, everything.
We do not do immigration or tax.
Okay, but pretty much everything else, you got attorneys that specialize in those things. What's the best way to get a hold of Sanders Law Firm? Just go to the website or call or come on by.
Yeah, come on by, call.
You want to give them our office number?
Yes.
I don't know it off the top of my head. Nobody knows their own number. That's just the rule. It's one of those things. But we'll get it here. Of course, you can stop by the office there on Country Club, right? That's Country Club by the hospital.
Yes.
That's Sanders Law Firm right there.
575-622-5440.
Very good.
Yes, there it is.
Call Sanders Law Firm or direct, or you know what? Just you can even Google Sanders Law Firm Roswell, and the website will pop right up.
Yes.
And I think there's everything there to set up a consultation and do all that.
Yes.
Or of course, if you're down by the hospital and all that, just Eastern, it's kind of right next door to all that there on Country Club, and I can't remember the name of the road. Washington.
Yes.
Thank you. The road that's right there. Come on by. So Good deal. Did we get it all, ladies? And then some?
I think
we got
did.
it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Did
you
I
so
kill
much
enough
for
time, or do you got to get to work and got a bunch of stuff? I was trying to get y'all out of work a little bit longer.
Oh, we can keep talking.
Okay,
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm sure there's some people that are desperately needing 2 attorneys right now. So we'll let you guys get back to work here. So thank you very much, and appreciate it. Thanks for helping out and getting and being a part of the community here. We appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on Friday.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Don't work too hard. I know that's easier said than done as attorneys, but we appreciate it. All right, it is 9:48. Let's pause for news. Sean Hannity update, Wall Street business update as well. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News update. I'm Jared Sorello. New details in an officer-involved shooting over the weekend in Artesia. 2 officers had been sent to an alley behind 1800 West Center Avenue. A statement from state police, who have now taken over the investigation, says a domestic fight had broken out and one person had fled down the alleyway. The officers both said they believed the man pulled a gun from his waistband. The unnamed man was shot by at least one of the Artesia officers and is now recovering at a hospital. No other details are known at this time. A traffic alert beginning today. Road work starts on NM2 from Dexter to south of Midway. The work will be ongoing during the day, and the project is not expected to be completed until later this spring. An Artesia firefighter has found himself arrested after opening fire with a pistol during a domestic argument. Eddy County deputies arrested Mario Samaniago Thursday night for aggravated assault of a household member following the dispute that occurred a few days prior. The report says Samaniago drove to his estranged wife's home where a verbal altercation ensued. At some point, Samaniago is accused of pulling a gun and firing one shot. Nobody was injured. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Republican states have sent thousands of National Guard troops to the border. Thank goodness for these governors. Republicans are doing that. The amount of fentanyl pouring across the border is the leading cause of death now for Americans age 18 to 49. Why are we allowing this and not stopping it? They're murdering our children. ICE arrested over 100 Biden illegals who committed child sexual assault and murder. They're not vetting them. They're coming from Iran, Syria, Afghanistan, Egypt, China, and Russia. We absolutely have terror cells now within this country of ours, and that they're plotting, planning, and scheming another 9/11 or worse. Think I'm wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. Call me up.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
The world is becoming more and more unstable by the day, and many Americans are not waiting around to find out how bad it could get. They're making the decision to diversify their wealth with precious metals like gold and silver. And they're turning to the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. Goldco is a 7-time Inc. 5000 winner with over 5,000 5-star reviews, and they've helped thousands of Americans place over $2 billion in gold and silver. They're Sean Hannity's top choice, and right now they're offering up to $10,000 in bonus silver. But it's first come, first served, and only while supplies last. So don't wait. Call Goldco at 855-815-GOLD to learn how you could get started today. Tell them Sean Hannity sent you and see if you qualify for up to $10,000 in bonus silver. Don't let this chaotic world get in the way of your goals. Follow Sean Hannity's lead and call Goldco today at 855-815-GOLD. That's 855-815-GOLD. 855-815-GOLD.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape for the next few days. No rain in the forecast for a while, and temperatures stay mild with high pressure over southern Colorado covering our area. Sunny today, a little bit breezy, mid-70s on the high. We're in the mid-30s and clear for the overnight hours, and then lots of sunshine expected on Tuesday, low 70s and sunny, a few more clouds on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Apple says it will appeal a nearly $2 billion fine imposed by the European Union, which concluded that Apple broke competition laws by unfairly favoring its own music streaming service over rivals. Wall Street opened lower this morning as markets turn their attention this week to a trove of labor market data and Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's appearance before Congress. Powell is making his semi-annual appearance before the House on Wednesday, to be followed by testimony to the Senate on Thursday. Macy's shares jumped more than 15% before the opening bell this morning after Ark House Management and Brigade Capital Management increased their offer to acquire the department store chain. Two airlines, JetBlue and Spirit Airlines, are ending their proposed $3.8 billion combination after a court ruling blocked the merger. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and I want to tell you about our store-wide sale happening now. All items in every department are on sale. Upgrade your living space with power reclining sofas and love seats or beautiful sectionals with charging ports. Create ambience with amazing table and floor lamps. Get that long-awaited restful night's sleep with the new Serta mattress. Every department is on sale from our existing prices, so come down to Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to Roswell. The market side has lots of new and different items, including new sauces and noodles to enhance your Asian dishes, plus new snacks and more. And the restaurant inside Asian Market has all Nook's favorites from 11 to 5, like wontons, egg drop, rice or noodle soup, crispy calamari, and the best barbecue fried rice in town. Dine in or call ahead for easy pickup. And find Asian Market on Facebook for updates on open times and specials.
Hi, this is Nok. Come see me at Asian Market, 5702 South Main in Roswell. Call 575-840-5309.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. You burn more calories sleeping than you do watching television. For the ultimate workout, fall asleep in front of the TV. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:54. Got a few minutes before we wrap up today's show. Of course, if you missed any part, log on, ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find all of our videos and interviews there for you to watch at your leisure.
Yes, indeed.
They're also on the Facebook wall, but you got to scroll a little bit between all the other stuff we put on our Facebook wall to find it. But it is there. So,
yeah,
whenever you want.
It's all waiting for you.
So I think I got my in-laws hooked on the TV show Resident Alien.
Oh, yeah?
I can't get my wife, but I got my in-laws.
She's not in.
She's just weird to watch. She's been sick this weekend, too. So trying to get her to watch new things when she's sick is really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, I was talking on the phone. They were talking on the phone Friday or Saturday. I don't remember what day it was. And they were talking. I said, hey, and my in-laws, now that they're retired, have turned into gurus of streaming services. Like, they usually tell me watch stuff because they watch so much stuff now. Oh, have you heard of this series called blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, no. Oh, it's on
Well,
Prime.
they've got nothing but time now.
Exactly. So it's kind of a big deal when I put them onto something that they haven't seen yet. It's kind of a tip to my feather in my cap a little bit. And so I recommended Resident Alien to them. I said, I kind of explained it. Well, I get a text from my mother-in-law yesterday afternoon, last night, saying, we just watched the first 7 episodes of Resident Alien. Ronnie's been imitating his laugh the entire afternoon. We love it. I'm like,
by the way, how many seasons did you say it had?
2 that I saw.
So I'm gonna brighten your day here a little bit. I cannot for the life of me remember where I saw it.
Yeah.
It maybe have been on Max, because I was kind of like dancing around the streaming services. There's 3 seasons. And all 3 seasons are on one of the services. I got to figure out which one.
Okay, because I saw 2 on Netflix.
Yours on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's Hulu, I bet. I want to say.
Okay. Well, good.
I was looking for something and it just popped up as 3 seasons.
I finished the first season and I've watched the first episode of season 2.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
So you're toes deep into the second season.
Right, because obviously season 1 ends on a big note.
Mm-hmm. It leaves you with a cliffhanger.
Yes, but it solved one problem and created a new one. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
For the next season.
I actually kind of like when it's not like necessarily a cliffhanger, but more of like this is a new thing. Yeah, like Weeds was perfect at that.
Yes.
At the end of their first season,
they give you satisfaction of resolving something, but then tease you for the next thing they're going to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Resident Alien did that. Too.
Okay.
And
I'm curious if Genji Cohen's involved. The head
I don't
writer
know.
for Weeds.
I don't know, but I have to look. I'll pay closer attention.
Okay.
But I'm just, the more I watch this show, the more, and to be honest, the more the story gets interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's comedic in nature, but the story's not comedic, if that makes sense.
It does.
Like, it's really talking about alien want to take over the world and this and that. And so it's dealing with dark issues in a comedic way. It's just, and then, of course, the alien adapting to human life and stuff is half the comedy there. But it's, so what I like about it, because I got to be honest, the first season is telling the story, and you're like, well, the story goes the way the story goes. This show's over. You know, what's the point of it? You know,
I've found that writers, TV writers, they like to write themselves into corners.
Yeah.
To challenge themselves to figure out ways out of it.
But what I'm worried about, and so far it hasn't, but I'm only 1 or 2 episodes of season 2. I'm worried that what drew me to the show to begin with, they get far away from because that story flushed itself out.
Right.
And that's what I'm worried about as I get farther into this thing. We'll see. Because at the end of the day, it's about time.
I know.
To a point where it's like, you know, this guy's an alien. He's trying to get home. I mean, one of these things are going to happen at some point. You know what I mean? And so,
well, they've got themselves an out. They've got to some closure at some point. But meanwhile, let's see what happens.
But part of you kind of like, well, I want him to stay here and be like Mork and Mindy and just live like Mork, you know. But anyway, it gets a little like serious. Like you're like, whoa.
But you're invested.
But it's funny and it's laugh out loud funny.
There you go.
It's a hit show for me. It hits all the numbers for me. I love it.
Nice.
So
I'll check it out.
Yeah, we got to go. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of it. Stay cool and less wind blown.
Yes,
because I think it'll be like upper 70s and windy, or maybe a little windy. So, and we'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. So, till then, take care, everybody. Peace out.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. U.S. Supreme Court handing Donald Trump a major legal victory as he runs for re-election. The AP Supreme Court writer Mark Sherman